I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Well, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I hope everybody's doing A-OK out there. Broadcasting to you live from the True North, fellas. We got a very special show for you here today. It is fight week, and it's the fight. I guess it is the fight of the year, biggest fight of the year, at least in terms of box office appeal and bonanza. And it's got a pretty good undercard too on top of it. You don't usually see that from this big mega fight. So hey, it's going to be interesting. We're going to start off and continue talking about the big fight. We're going to analyze it from all angles. We're also going to be continue taking your predictions, your phone calls. But we're going to start off with a little drama as well of envious people out there trying to dismiss this mega fight. So we're going to talk about all about that. Before we do, fellas, we got to get the business out of the way. Don't forget the deal. You can donate a couple of shekels our way via the super chat. Of course, it's always better if you actually join the BDA membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. The most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe. All right, fellas? That's the most important thing. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Abe, Don Ramon Cham, Foul Pole Boxing, I Don't Fight Mexicans, Impala, Blasphemy, Eparokua G, Sergeant Z, USMC, I Am Your Leader. Shout out to I Am Your Leader. Shadow Combat, Sam Rando, Darth Vader, Steve Lopez, and many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right. So let's get down to it here. What do we got? Well, let me call a couple of people over here while I set up some things here. Some things that I'm not liking here, how some things are looking. But anyway, we're going to start talking off about that. And of course, let me tell you something. Here in Canada, it's starting to feel a little bit more like fall, like September. And it always reminds me of the big September fights. I mean, Trinidad De La Hoya, Trinidad Hopkins, De La Hoya Vargas, and so on and so forth. And now I'm starting to feel that September buzz, September big fight buzz. I don't know if we're going to get another big fight before the end of the year. Hopefully we get Crawford, Spence, and all those dudes, which again, I'm chafing my fingers here. My fingers are all shaved up, trying to, and hoping that fight gets made. But we'll see. For the moment, we got this fight on Saturday, and it should be a doozy, let me tell you. All right, I'm inviting a couple of people over here. Like I said, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. And then once we do that, we'll start cooking with a little oil. We got Jimmy and we got Bucho here. Fellas, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. All right, and Bucho, I suppose, is setting up as well. And we got Gonzalo dropping by too. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I got to warn you though, we're going to start off, before we get back to the big fight, we're going to get into some drama, outside the ring drama, of how some people just don't seem to, like the fight for some reason. Shout out to Official Scorecard Boxing, by the way, for rejoining the BDA membership program. Official, shout out to you. Check out his channel. Check out his, he broke down the fight, I think from Canelo and Golovkin's angle, the rematch. And it's a very interesting film analysis. It really shows you Golovkin's underrated boxing abilities. So go check that one out, man. I highly recommend it. Shout out to Official Scorecard Boxing. All right, so we got to get into the business aspect of this fight. Wait a minute. All right. Sorry about the fellas. 'Cause
Sure.
I'm trying to share. Yeah, because I'm trying to share the screen here. Hey, can you guys click on the screen I'm sharing? Just see what I'm sharing.
I have clicked it.
And what are you seeing?
Well, I see what you have up, but just not showing anything right now. It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I
showing
thought.
like some. Stream has ended. Click noise.
All right, give me 2 seconds here because I'm trying to. Give me 2 seconds because I'm trying to share something here with you, fellas, but it's taking time. So in the meantime, shout out to Rapax Trucking Company for his contribution with the super chat. He says Triple G looks like Walter Mercado. Hashtag Spence Bud is a pipe dream. Yeah, shout out to Rapax. Triple G is looking older, and as he gets older, he's looking more like Ellen DeGeneres. That's for sure. Shout out to Puro Central in the house as well. Says shout out to everybody. All right, fellas, I want to start off with this because I want to get out of the way because I want to get back to the actual boxing, but we're going to have to spend a little bit of time doing this. The LDBC seem mighty jealous and envious, dare I say, of this Canelo-Golovkin mega fight, the one that's going to settle once and for all. They seem to be very, very, what's the word I'm looking? Well, I already said it, jealous and envious. So let me play you a clip real quick. I can't share it with you fellas right now, but you're going to be able to hear it. So...
And I'd say actually angry as much as they are jealous.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're angry and jealous. That's an absolute, yeah. All right. Give me 2 seconds here for this thing to get set up here. Hold on a second. Somebody just...
we don't want to pay $85 to see him fight a fucking 100-year-old.
All right. So that's Trill Boxing. Because again, people love to talk about how, well, the LDBC, they're not racist. You know, they created that channel because they wanted people to, you know, they were being prejudiced. People were being prejudiced against them. So they just started to have a safe community. Like there are a bunch of women being attacked in Africa or something. Anyway, so check this out, what these guys who were supposedly not racist had to say about this fight.
We don't want to pay $85 to see him fight a fucking 100-year-old dinosaur. Are you fucking stupid? That's logical. You fucking piece of spit shit. You fucking piece of shit.
You hear that? Let me play it again.
That's logical. You fucking piece of spit shit. You fucking piece of spit shit.
Sounds like he's saying spit.
I'm having a hard time. Is he saying spick?
Well, listen, it sounds like he's saying spit, but it doesn't make sense because there's no such thing.
Okay,
There's no such thing as piece of spit shit. That doesn't make any sense. Spit doesn't shit. So, Jimmy, if you had to guess, do you think he auto-corrected himself on the spot?
Well, to be honest, maybe I'm not getting a good connection. It sounded like that first. I didn't even hear spit. I heard spick. Honestly, that's what I thought he said. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what I thought he said. And I've never heard anybody called a piece of spit before. I've heard somebody called a piece of shit, but never a piece of spit.
Butcher, what do you make of this? Well, okay, hold on a second. Butcher's, I think he's having issues. Gonzalo, I mean, you don't like the YouTube drama and all that, but what do you make of this?
I'd say it's a hater. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Hater.
I mean, listen, some people, because I couldn't play the video. I was just playing the audio, but here it is with the video, just so people don't think that I'm making this.
We don't want to pay $85 to see him fight a fucking 100-year-old dinosaur. Are you fucking stupid? That's logical. You fucking piece of spit shit.
I mean, listen. As a Mexican, this doesn't bother me one bit. Because if you want to... First of all, because when you already know some people are that way, you accept it and you move on. But it's quite funny that these are the same people that say that we created our community because we were being attacked. We were being called this and that. It's because they wanted to be racist in their own little community where they don't let callers in. Like on this show. They don't let panelists on like we do on this show. They don't do open panels like we do on this show. And then once somebody calls them something, they play victim. Listen, you can call me a spick, a beaner, greaser, greaseball, whatever you want. I'm not going to start riots. I'm not going to start looting, shooting, and polluting. I'm not going to start, raiding shoe stores, because words can only affect you if you let them. So it's quite interesting, this little situation that we got here with these people, and they're angry at the fact that they're trying to say that Canelo-Golovkin has no buzz. Did you guys see the grand arrivals that they had in Las Vegas?
Yep. There was women throwing their fucking panties at him.
Ugh.
That's true, man. And you had a key. You said something very important, Mr. BA. They never open up. Like if your convictions are strong to what you're saying, if you feel you can back up what you're saying with fact or at least reasonably sourced evidence, you allow people to question you. You allow for open dialogue. The reason why, like insane leftists, they do not open dialogue, and they do not have an exchange or debate, because they'd get their dicks kicked in, because nothing they espouse holds up to the slightest scrutiny. Because when you base your entire fucking boxing ideology is based first and foremost, the fighter has to have these number one criteria: not footwork, not hand speed, not knockout power, melanin. He has to have a certain skin color for you. That's the number one criteria for your fighter. You're already in the fucking weeds, bro. You're not going to win any debate, but you're just starting from an ugly place. That's my rant on that, motherfuckers.
Keep going, man. Can you hear me? No, fuck. I'm having
connection
issues here. Okay, keep going, because I'm trying to load something up here. Or you, Gonzalo, or Bucho, whoever wants to keep going. If you want to talk also about the analytics for this fight and how they're trending. Apparently, this fight's trending.
Sorry, I was talking, but I was...
What the fuck happened? He just dropped off. Jimmy, talk about the analytics, if you will, of this fight.
I think Bucho, hung up.
All right, Jimmy, you talk about the fight. Talk about the fact that it's trending and that it's a big event.
Well, of course, it's a big event. And one thing I also want to mention, after I heard, because I heard about that, Bucho, I think, tweeted about it. No time did I ever see Trill Boxing complain about Deontay Wilder fighting fucking the guy who actually probably should be on Social Security. No, kidding aside, the motherfucker is at least 50 years old. But even he go at his regular age. Dude's old, even if the one he's saying. But Luis Ortiz, and again, everybody knows he's older than what he says. Everybody knows that dude's closer to 50 than he is 40. And no wins, unlike fucking Ortiz, who never wins when he steps up to the big fights. You got a guy who's... and then there's a lot of things that play at this right here, too. The fact that combined sales of the prior two fights are counted in the millions, not the hundreds of thousands. That is like fucking hot knife into their heart, because they've hated Triple G since Andre Ward dubbed him Little G with that whole bullshit that he ducked Andre Ward at 168 narrative, because that never would have happened. That fight couldn't have happened. We've already gone over that. That's so easily debunked. But they've always looked for an excuse to hate on him. They hate everything he's done, everything about him. So the thing is, they can't even award him like they talk about. When they talk about Triple G sales, they'll always go right to Lemieux. So what did he sell? 190,000, 150,000? No, you fucking knucklehead. He sold 1.3. Oh, well, that was Canelo. Oh, really? By himself. You know what I mean? So, like, even when there's credit that they can't deny there, they won't give it to him. I mean, the LDBC's hatred for Triple G, it surpasses Lomachenko. It's been insane. So, of course, and now he's a fucking ancient old man, according to Trill. You know what I mean? Even that old man. This is why I wish he would have fought Charlo, and not the person against Charlo, but just to watch them fucking heartache, because they get so emotionally involved in this shit, and I get more worked up about how they act, because it's sickening. It's sickening that people like that are hiding behind the sport of boxing. Because believe me, these motherfuckers aren't into boxing. at all.
That's
Anyways.
right. I mean, look, there's the fact that nobody. Oh, go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
I was just gonna mention that they couldn't really hate on Andy Ruiz when he fought Luis Ortiz, because if Luis Ortiz looked good doing that, that would have boosted up Deontay Wilder. So even an even older Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz, they had to keep silent. So that goes to show that they're following certain narratives and they'll adjust to those.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, they can't hate Andy Ruiz because if Wilder wins, he's gonna end up fighting him. So they can't hate on the guy too much. I mean, it's ridiculous how this is a good fight and they don't even want to admit it. They say, oh, this Golovkin is 100 years old. It's like Thunderdome said, they don't even watch the fights. They watch the highlights. And then they put the phone down or whatever, and they keep doing whatever else they're doing. Playing NFL 2K or something else. But they're not actually watching the fights. They're watching the highlights. And when they go, well, nobody's going to pay for this fight, they're projecting the fact that they never pay for any fights. Why do you think Crawford versus Spence, the biggest fight between two Afro-Americans, hasn't been made yet? Because they're asking for big money because they think it's a mega fight, but nobody's going to pay for it. And the people that are organizing it already know this. So they got to take a long, good look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves.
Tim Smith, right?
What's that?
You're talking about Tim Smith from the PBC, the vice president of communications. The spokesman for the PBC, when asked about that fight, he said, I don't remember if he phrased it as if it's not exactly a huge fight, but what he did make specifically and, as clear as humanly possible was it'll be stolen. They'll actually use the word, they'll steal the fight. So you say to yourself, who's they? And then you just ask to be honest. Let's be honest. The PBC is great. The way things have gone, it's become so tribalized. Just go on Twitter. Only people still supporting the PBC, because really, why would you if you're a boxing fan? Al Haymon's been a cancer to the sport since he fucking got in. He drove HBO boxing into the ground. That's a fact. Now Showtime might be ending. The whole platform might be taking over. If you just heard about that last, I guess they had a big fucking meeting and whatnot. So Showtime might be on the chopping block. Where's the PBC going to go? But so that's the second, because if you put on a good enough fights, maybe somebody else would have picked him up. Maybe that would have kept Showtime on air. But the same reason he did it to Fox, he's put on shit shows. So my point being, the only reason why they still support him was the same reason why they supported him from off the rip, because he looks like them. And that's and what makes it even funnier is the dude wouldn't piss on them if wouldn't piss in their mouth if their guts were on fire. Because he won't even do an interview, thinks nothing of them. You know what I mean? And a bunch of them have actually kind of caught on to it, including, surprising or not, it was Fred Hawthorne. He's been actually talking a lot about it. Like, well, I don't know why we carried water for this motherfucker. He clearly doesn't care about us. But anyways, so that's the reason fucking being. So, and he's never been able to fucking put a fight together. Spence Crawford, are you kidding me? The LDBC, since we're speaking of them, they despise Bob. I remember he's the devil, the fucking slave contracts, some of the horrendous shit they say about Bob all the time. They wanted him out of the fight. Don't make that fight. Don't fuck that. Don't even make that fight until he's, not with Bob. So, fucking Crawford gave in. Said, heck, thinking, blasted out of there. Now he's on his own. I don't know what representation he has, but I know they can't get this fight to cross the fucking line. So they can't get funding. Why can't they? Would you fund a fight? If someone approached you, you run a hedge fund, and they say, dude, you want to throw up, $50 million, this is what you get, here's your return. And then you punch it on your computer, and the only thing you can find from the PBC is their vice president saying, oh, no, I'm fucking going to steal this shit. You're like, what? Screw. I mean, exactly. How do you think that was selling the fight to, future investors? So they don't have the people looking to put up the money because they know they can't get it back.
Exactly, man. I mean, yeah.
No. Go ahead, Rudy. Go ahead.
Let me just step out of this room and I'll be back, all right? Because I have to step off and step back in so I can share something with you. All right, hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. Shout out to SSC, by the way. SSC for rejoining the BDM membership program. Shout out to SSC. He says Team Canelo MX 100. Shout out to SSC, man. That's a pretty good looking truck right there, man. That's a truck to patrol your neighborhood, keep it safe from undesirables. That's for sure. All right, let me see if I can share this screen with you, fellas, because it wasn't working earlier for some reason. Now let me see. Give me 2 seconds. You might not hear me for a while, but can you guys still hear me? By the way,
I can hear you.
All right, yeah. So sorry, because when I have to share the screen, it actually takes a while for it to load, and there might be connection issues. So just stand there. Everybody on YouTube can still hear me. Shout out to some rando who said sharing is caring. Mr. LDBC says Rex come out of the closet already. Oh, come on. Hey, shout out to Scalebender in the chat. Shout out to Uncle Pete. Shout out to Furioso in there as well, and the Don. They're all in the house there. So shout out to them. All right, guys. For some reason, this screen doesn't want to load. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually close my Discord and I'll be back. All right, stay on the line.
Give it a blue pill.
Well, I mean the blue pill. Well, I actually do have a couple. No, I'm kidding. I don't use that shit. All right, hold on a second. Sorry about that, fellas. It's because it's using a lot of CPU here, a lot of RAM rather, to play what I want to play. So give me 2 seconds here, and we'll set the baby back up. What else? It's no fair. I got a shout out. So mean, says Gainello. We got Gainello. No, sorry, what is it? Canelo-Golovkin? Some guy's making fun of Golovkin, and then we got some other guy making fun of Canelo. They should fight it out. Yeah, Gainadi, Gabe Nibich, Goiloivroids, and then we've got I Don't Fight Mexicans. So those two guys should go at it, and the winner is the ultimate Golovkin versus Canelo troll. All right, I'm back, fellas. Let me see if I can share the screen here. There we go. Now I can share the screen. What the fuck? Now, for some reason, I've got my OBS here open, but it doesn't show anything. Bucho, let me know if I open up the screen, the OBS, can you actually see what I'm sharing? There we go. Now it's working. Okay.
You're sharing. Yeah, you're sharing the OBS. Yeah.
All right. Sorry about
it.
All right. Fantastic.
It's up.
All right. Fantastic.
It's working now.
All right. So I want to show you, we're talking about the LDBC. Let's talk a little bit more about how, because people like to say, and here's the thing, when people call them racist and then they go, oh no, they're not racist. And then you call them out on it. They go, well, I never actually watched the LDBC. Why are you so afraid of being called out by the LDBC? All these black guys that are afraid of being called coons and house N-words and Uncle Toms. Yeah, these people don't like you, man. Who cares if you share the same skin color? Wake up. So here's the video that Haymanites made. I believe Haymanites made it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy. I think you would know better, but...
yes, I believe that's the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah.
Well, here we go.
Was formed. Remove ourselves from these racist motherfuckers online. Defend black fighters and black boxing fans. To have a fan base. You ain't got to be coming down to the ring with sombrero. Also,
all right, I don't understand why it's cutting off. Hold on.
And to defend boxing fans. To let black fighters know you have a fan base. To the ring with sombreros on. Trying to cross over to some crowd. You ain't got to be afraid to be proud of your fucking people. And that's why the LDBC was created.
Yeah, just did some weird shit. What was your... I'm hurt.
I don't understand why this is cutting off. Hold on a second. Guess I got too much shit playing here at the same time.
The LDBC formed to...
What'd you say, Bucho?
Drop it on OBS. Don't play it on a window. Like, just drop it in there.
Ah, yeah, but then these guys here on the Discord won't be able to hear it.
It's what I won't. It's all right. I've already heard it. Just as long as the fans can hear. No, fans, stupid. I'm sorry. Listeners can hear it. That's more important. Okay. Because I've already heard it.
Gonzalo doesn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, whatever. All right, hold on a second. Why do we have this shit open here as well? You know what? That's the problem. I think you got too much shit open. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds here. Hey, I said 2 seconds. Come on. All right, so let me put it on the screen like Bucho said. So we're gonna let's see if it plays.
The LDBC was
we gotta stay silent
to remove ourselves from these racist motherfuckers online, and to defend black fighters and black boxing fans. To let black fighters know you have a fan base. You ain't got to be come down to the ring with sombreros on, trying to cross over to some crowd that don't fucking want you. You ain't got to be afraid to be proud of your fucking people and proud of who you are. That's why the LDBC was created.
Yeah, just did some weird shit. What was your thoughts, CC? I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I don't like. I don't like that shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I gotta be honest. I don't like these white motherfuckers thinking they got an upper hand on us. These white motherfuckers thinking they got an upper hand on us. You know what I'm saying? I'm black before I'm anything. Fuck all that.
LDBC, Cali, he's racist. Yeah, so what? I don't give a fuck, bro. Team Wilder, Team Spence. Why? Because they're black.
And we gonna put hands and feet on white Jesus whenever the time come, black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll tell you this. I will never lose to a white boy in my life. I don't care what nobody got to say. Listen, ain't no white boy beat me on any day of the week.
Hey, talk that shit, man.
Fight a white boy 10 times, I'm gonna beat him 10 times.
For black people, nigga, fuck you. Don't ever fucking speak on Deontay Wilder name, little bitch. Little faggot, pussy bitch. You know what? I stand for black people, nigga. Like you don't, nigga. Little faggot bitch. Say my name right now, nigga. I'm part of LDBC, nigga. We stand up for black. My people hurt for 40 years, nigga, like Wilder said. Motherfucking people been hurt for 40 years, nigga. For fucking 40 years.
That's why the LDBC was created.
All right, so the video's over. We're back. I mean, these are the people that they're not boxing fans. I don't know how many times. The only reason why I keep playing videos about these people and what they're saying is for people to actually understand it out there, because some of them still don't get it. There's still people out there that, you know, they don't want to defend them, but at the same time, they don't want to throw them under the bus. So they go, well, why you keep talking about them? Why you keep giving them attention?
No,
well, I don't know. Why do say...
People over here say that, you know, when we're debating them, they're like, they were saying that allegedly the LDBC is racist. No, allegedly. What do you mean allegedly? They are. They'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's true. You cannot debate these people over there in their channels. If you go to their channels, you're going to notice that on their chat, everybody has a wrench. Everybody has a wrench. So as soon as you say something that they disagree with, they're going to block your ass.
Fucking dystopian. Like, seriously.
And yeah, they're race hustlers, basically.
That's right.
And they hate this Canelo fight because they can't talk about it because it doesn't involve a black fighter. And so, what else can they do? I mean, well, they have to shit on that fight.
But I don't understand why they're seething so much about. Because look, listen, eventually Canelo's going to retire. Eventually Canelo's going to retire, and it's going to take some time before another Mexican A-side comes along. When that happens, they're going to be happy. If a black A-side comes along. If not, they're still going to make fun of it, but whatever. But there's always someone else that comes along. So I don't understand why these people can't be patient and say, you know what, yeah, eventually there's going to be a big black name coming along. A black person that can actually drop box office numbers and, you know, but they don't like him, man. And the people that defend them, I can't imagine who defends him at this point, because there's two types of people, like I said. The people that agree with them, and those are, you know, like the ghetto-ass Nimrods, we can't help them. And then there's the people that they know the LDBC are racist. They don't want to call them out because they still feel some sort of weird prison-like loyalty to their own race. You know, they got to stay on code. And that's why they defend them. Just come out and say these fucking people are nut jobs and they're stupid. You'll feel better when you do it. Trust me.
They're not boxing fans.
No, absolutely.
Well, not that it matters, but I just got a DM, man. This I didn't even know about that, how extensive trouble he was in. But the dude talking 78 Sports, supposedly, this is what I was just told him, he was arrested for pandering, pimping fucking girls, not paying, and a bunch of other shit. But just that's and he also this isn't even up for debate because he talks about it. He calls himself a dog man, and that's how when he described what he saw in the last fight against Wilder, I saw he was game. He's gamey. And he went on to say people who don't know what that is in a fight in the dog world, if his dog's good, he's gamey. I'm a dog man. So, but what he does, he raises and he breeds pit fighters and he goes and fights them. That's a fucking sadistic freaking thing, man. Like I can't even fathom raising a dog from a puppy and put it into a pit where, yeah, they are bred for it and they like to fight. I'll admit it, but they get torn the fuck up. And more than one at those big fights, there's fucking dead dogs out next to the building. It's just who would do it? You know what I mean? Like who would do it? You'd have just to be a certain level of sickness. That's why it's super illegal everywhere too. I mean, it's just nasty. And he doesn't even hide that fact. That fucking fat buzzard who's fucking doesn't want white people to get over on her. Fucking convict. Bitch fucking was involved in a crazy fucking. She was all over the paper for on the news and shit because she was involved in this multi-state credit card fraud scheme that stole hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars and destroyed the credit of umpteen amount of people with zero empathy. Thought it was the funniest fucking thing she ever heard. And then to the point where she has her own little segment called Prison Stories with Cece. And she goes on to tell how her homie, one of the best people she met in jail, picked up somebody's kitten, punched it, and stabbed it to death, and she belly laughed after.
Yeah,
let that fucking sink in, dude. The type of person she is. Like fucking, let that sink in the fucking. You know what I mean? Somebody ever told me that story, man. I'd be putting their fucking fronts out. No questions asked. If I was a younger dude, they were fucking spitting their teeth. I mean,
wasn't the rumor?
Kidding me? She laughed.
Wasn't the rumor that she was bum rushing stores?
Yeah, yes, I've heard that rumor too, man. There's all kinds of shit out there, but I mean, she's clearly. I mean, you got to look at her character. You know, this being a criminal, man. Hey, everybody's got to do what they do to break law. But when you're hurting innocent people, that's a different kind of crime. Sell drugs, do whatever. Hey, but when you go out there and you're fucking, it's you. When you discredit, when you like, and that.
Jimmy, you're cutting up, man.
Cost you thousands of dollars. Most times you have to hire a lawyer. Oh, sorry. Most times you have to hire a lawyer, and it's a horrible thing. And they did that to like countless people.
Let me say something about this. If Gerald McClellan, I don't know if people remember the stories of Gerald McClellan, but for those of you that don't know, Gerald McClellan used to have fighting dogs too. And there was a whole bunch of stories about how much of a crazy guy he was. He used to, at some point, he got a Labrador, or I forget what type of dog, taped its mouth shut and sicked his fighting pit bulls on it because he wanted them to get the taste for blood. He also was, this is also verified by a guy who was with Gerald McClellan, and Gerald McClellan was driving and they saw a bunch of pelicans or some sort of birds, and he just said, hey, watch this, and just turned towards the pelicans and just ran them over. If Gerald McClellan weren't handicapped right now and he was still active and those stories were none of him, I guarantee you people would still be rooting for him, like the LDBC. And they'd be saying, okay, so he killed animals, but what about Kovalev? He wore a shirt with a gorilla on it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, so there you go. Absolve, just absolution. By the way, Pete, why are you... Huh?
Based on everything we've heard from the LDBC, I don't want anybody else to start comparing us to the LDBC, because I remember, I don't know if it was Logical Man that I seen in the chat or somebody on Discord, they said, like, we're like the LDBC. We're the opposite of the LDBC. I mean, that's completely ridiculous. Like, you don't want us to turn into the LDBC.
Well, you know, and they can always just call in and say it and explain it to us, because unlike the LDBC, we'll take any of their calls. And I mean, does 78 Kevin Nash want to call in and discuss fucking dog fighting and the horrors of that? Mike Tyson found out how the story was told to me. Mike Tyson found out his cousin was having dog fights up at his fucking house in Connecticut. I don't know if it's a rumor, but it was told that Mike found out about it, went in and fucking punched him in the face and threw his ass the fuck out of there.
And good for him. And
good on him. Yeah. Because it's an appalling fucking thing. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
But yeah, that's all I want to say about... Go ahead, Bucho. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I wanted to bring it back to that Canelo-Golovkin fight.
Sure.
You don't want to buy it? Fine. We don't give a fuck. Like, who gives a shit? I don't even think, to be honest, I don't really think they buy a lot of fights, to be honest. Right? They weren't buying previous Canelo fights, and Canelo fights were still selling. So it's not like they're a factor. They're relevant. It's just it's interesting. You know, they're just jealous because this is a big fight. Sure, Golovkin's 40.
That's a good point.
It's still a big fight. Like Jimmy said, you look at what's happening in Las Vegas, the Grand Rivals. There's tons of people there.
That's a great point, Bucho.
Fight,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's a great point, Butch. It's like when people say, well, we need more, this is a big fight that's going to attract more fans to boxing. Yeah, but more fans means more casual fans because a lot of them don't know any better. And I mean, listen, you got to start somewhere. I was a casual fan at some point, but it's going to be very problematic having sometimes casual fans, especially ignorant casual fans, the ones that they're casuals, but they think they know everything. Those are the ones that are a little bit harder to break in. But ultimately, Butch, that was a great point. And yeah, I guess you guys want to talk about the fight now?
Balls in right out the door. Sorry, Gonzalo.
True boxing fans really understand and they know that Triple G is still dangerous. I mean, he's a unified champion, the longest, oldest reigning champion right now. Doesn't matter, man. That dude's still dangerous, and true boxing fans knows that. Do you think Canelo's gonna sleep on Golovkin and say, "Oh, he's fucking 40 years and 5 months. Let me sleep on this motherfucker because he's easy pickings. He'll fucking get knocked out too if he fucking sleeps on Triple G." People understand, real boxing fans, that Triple G's still fucking dangerous.
And they just want to kick him all the way out the door. This is going to be probably his last fight, and they're going to throttle him all the way out the door like old man. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. He's done a lot more for the sport than fucking any of the PBC fighters have.
Well,
he's not going to bend the knee. He's going to go out on his fucking shield. And I don't know if it's going to be on Saturday, to tell you the truth.
And you were saying that Triple G is still dangerous. The problem is for these people that Golovkin was never dangerous. He was overrated. So see, they don't even appreciate skills. You don't appreciate high-level boxing. They don't understand it. Why? Because they're not true boxing fans.
That's right.
He never fought anybody. Fucking resume. I mean, they go down that. And again, they never talk about people paying him $1 million not to fight him. No, they don't talk about the fucking progression of fucking world champions who straight out would say and publicly say it. Make no bones about it. I ain't fighting him. You swear that motherfucker. You know what I mean? They don't ever talk about that. That never existed. It's nuts. How many guys? I mean, you got Eubank lost his pen. Fucking Chavez pulled out. Cotto paid him almost $1 million. Canelo originally threw his fucking belt in the toilet. I mean, flushed it before having to fight him. Put him off for 18 months. And then made him wait another 4 years to have the fucking trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this dude has been seriously... Jacobs comes in and fights the fight of his life to survive. He never put his weight over his front foot and said, let's exchange. He fought to survive. And he came in as a light heavyweight. Blew right past the rehydration fucking clause. You know what I mean? Didn't give a fuck that belt wasn't online. You know what I mean? He wasn't fighting that belt. He was fighting to survive and took whatever. But I was there at the fight. And I'll tell you, at the end of the fight, I would have much rather been Triple G because you could hear those fucking punches landed. The difference is with Jacobs, they were arm punches. Pop, 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 pop. Just slapping him out on his toes, jumping back in and out. Whereas Triple G is whack, just jumping and fucking thudding his ass. Put him down in the third round. Absolutely was ring general that night, won the fight. But it was Triple G, so poof, he got robbed. Oh, that was too close, really? So he puts in a fight against, and listen, Jacobs is a crazy athlete, was a fucking Golden Glove champ, and is a great boxer. And when he was on his prime, and he put it all together that night, and the best he could do was lose in a close fight. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's not the narrative. The narrative, fucking Triple G looks slow. He lost that fight. It was a robbery. It's just, again, there's a reason they don't allow phone calls.
That's right. Hey, speaking of phone calls, we're going to be opening up the phone lines here in about 20 minutes, or maybe just right away.
And I apologize to guys for my, getting excited about it because I've been a big Triple G fan since 2013, and all I've ever seen was the fucking visceral and the hate spewed at this dude. Baseless and lies. It's just nuts.
Don't sweat it, man. Don't sweat it. I want to give a shout out to I Am Your Leader, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat. He says... hold on a second. He says, "What Rapist channel is anti-racist?" Of course it is. Of course it is. It says so right in the byline. I mean, if you can't read and you still think they're anti-racist, and well, there's a correlation there between stupidity and being racist. You can go there and talk to them if you want. It's open panel. So that's at least that's what we do. It's freedom of speech, man. Open panels, open phone lines. I wanted to get back to the fight here now because you mentioned something about the body punches and all that. Here's what Canelo had to say about the body punches going into this fight. He did an interview. He said, "I think both fighters." Hold on a second. I'm gonna work whatever, he said, head, body, but my goal is to end this fight before the 12th round. So wherever I need, I'm going to do it in the ring. Is it safe to say that with him being supposedly the bigger guy, and I want to get back to that discussion later, but supposedly everyone's saying he's the bigger guy because he's fought at 175. He's the younger guy. He's the fresher guy. Do you think he's going in there with the mentality of fighting this fight the same way he did the second, meaning standing his ground and trying to push Golovkin back?
Yes. I believe he's going to be aggressive. He's going to try to test the old man's legs. Yeah, that's what he would. That's what the smart fucking bet would be. Well, you wouldn't want to be on defensive. Let him keep pace. See, that's the thing though with Canelo, right? Let's be honest. That's never been his game. He's never really pushed a fucking hard pace. He picks and waits, dips and moves, waits for you to make a mistake, and then he jumps on you. But constant pressure, that's not his thing. A lot of punches, that's not his thing. Starting slow is his thing. So these are all things that help Triple G. I'm not saying Triple G is going to go out and destroy him over it, but these are just the fucking way things have been in his past. And, I know I'm a rarity, but I'm a fan of both guys because of the injustices I feel Triple G has dealt, including an absolute robbery in the first fight. I'm leaning towards him. I went into that first fight like, I just want to see these two motherfuckers go. And when I saw the robbery, it sat so ugly with me. That night, I really became a Triple G fan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So,
I'm showing a couple of clips
I
here.
say he comes forward. He comes forward because BDA. Because if you stay a little bit like on the outside, like in the mid range, that's the perfect distance for Triple G because he's still taller. And probably got the same, or if not a little bit longer arm reach than Canelo. So he's going to catch you at the mid-range. If you get in close, that makes Triple G smother his punches a little. That's why Triple G was stepping back, not necessarily because Canelo was pushing him back in the second fight. Although a lot of people thought, Canelo's pushing him back. No, GGG wasn't fucking running. He was just taking that step backwards to get his distance. So yeah, Canelo better come forward too. Again, to negate Triple G's ability to punch from the mid-range, to have to, where he's readjusting, that has to step back.
Hey, shout out to the Rex for his contribution to the Super Chat. He says, funny how LDBC sounds a lot like LGBT. Well, I mean, there's no coincidence that they both started and that they both sounded like the names, man. Shout out to Rex for his contribution. Gonzalo, that's the other thing, man. I don't remember Golovkin's back touching the ropes in the second fight. So if somebody's really pushing the other guy back, you'd expect him to end up on the ropes at some point. That's not what was happening. They were both. The fight took place mostly in center of the ring. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Now, I was showing clips here of Canelo's body shots in the second fight. No, hold on, that's against Bivol. In the second fight, this was still mostly old Canelo. And what I mean by old Canelo was a guy that could string combos together. Since the Kovalev fight, or even the Daniel Jacobs fight, we haven't seen him throwing that many more combos. Now, maybe that's because against, like, for example, Callum Smith and against what's his name, Bivol, he was fighting taller guys, and he thought he had to chop them down with big sledgehammers. But is it safe to say that approach against Golovkin is not going to be the best approach, just to try to whack him with one shot at a time to the body?
Terrible approach.
That's the way he's been training now. I saw a video on Canelo showing some guy, this is how I throw my punches. So when he hits the punching bag, he likes to drive the punch and put a stamp on it to where he leaves the indentation like, I don't know, George Foreman. He drives it in, and when he hits the bag, he wants to leave it there, like he wants to drive it through. So you can't like really change that. Let's say he's thinking about fighting Golovkin a different way. If you've been training like that all of a sudden, like where you put on that muscle and you're throwing punches like that, like a sledgehammer. So it's gonna be hard to get away from that.
I'm curious to see how Biggie comes in. Because remember, his last fight was at 175, so that means he went into a fight with more muscle on him for the first time, like in a while since he fought Kovalev. But I'm curious if he has the mindset, you know what, I'm gonna keep more mass this time. Might get a little leaner, but I'll keep more muscle for my strength, which is, on his part wouldn't be smart because again, muscle just takes more oxygen, a lot more oxygen. It's why you always see muscle heads. They always think muscle heads and they have no cardio. No, it takes more energy to keep that big fucking muscle head body going. So, but yeah, so I'm curious to see how his shape he comes in because he's got to be, and if he wants to disarm, like even demoralize Triple G, I do a little bouncing on his toes. Show do the gazelle. You know what I mean? When you see gazelles in the fucking out on a plane and they start hopping, you know what I mean? They're running all of a sudden, boom, they hop. They do that to show the lions, I'm in great shape, motherfucker. Try to catch me. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna catch me. That's literally why they do that. It has the same effect, man. If you're sucking air, your legs are burning, and you couldn't even think about jumping on your toes, and your opponent's out there fucking, when you're stepping in the break, pop up and down on them, just to show like I'm fucking, that can demoralize a fighter. So I would do all that shit to his old ass. You know what I'm saying? Do all the tricks.
I saw
even
him
if it hurts
training like
yourself,
that.
do it.
I saw him training like that. I think it's Del Mar, like the fairgrounds, like where the horse racing track is at. He was like bounding forward, doing some footwork, and I think he stopped doing the weights, Canelo, because he fired Samir. I don't know, that guy that went with Andy Ruiz, the football trainer. He fired him. That was the dude that had him doing all them weights. Haven't seen Canelo do a lot of weights.
Shout out to the Can Man for his contribution with the super chat. He says Triple G win TKO 11th round. Triple G will win with his toughness. Whoa, okay. So, Bucho gave me the spreadsheet here with the predictions. So we've got a hodgepodge of predictions of some people going with Triple G by stoppage, other people going with Canelo by stoppage. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm starting to get the feeling that neither guy is going to take each other out. But then again, I got to go back to that story. I thought the same thing going into the Juan Manuel Marquez Pacquiao Ford fight. And, they were both talking. Oh, we got to go for the knockout. We got to go for the knockout. And I remember Bucho telling me, I got the feeling it's going to be a knockout. And I said, come on, both guys have great chins. They're both in great condition. They already fought a whole bunch of rounds. They're not going to knock each other out all of a sudden. 36 rounds. All of a sudden, they're going to knock each other out. And boom, they both drop each other. And someone was going to get knocked out in that fight. Just so happened Marcus got it first. So what do you guys think? What are the chances that somebody gets knocked out here? Well, I guess Ring Magazine, if you look at their predictions, I mean, they're pretty much, I believe half the predictions out of 20-something have Canelo winning by knockout. But Ring Magazine, no disrespect to Dougie, because I got mad respect for Doug in his knowledge, and he's a true gentleman. Just want to say that Dougie's a great guy. But some of that staff over there, man, they've like become like the cool kid class. Like, just look at their top 10s and like, what's the prevailing wind almost. Like they wait to hear what everybody's saying. You know what I mean? Like, how could you all have Canelo win so many by knockout? Like, what have you seen in Triple G that makes you think he's like vulnerable to be knocked out? And what have you seen in Canelo to make him think he's the guy to do it? What, because he broke Billy Joe Saunders' face? Didn't knock him out, broke his face, and he quit. Plant fucking wanted no more, was just beat up, but it didn't fucking knock him out. Really, he never even lost consciousness, just beat his ass, literally beat him up. He just had enough, you know what I mean? And no shame in that. I mean, he fucking hung in there, but it wasn't like he went out and throttled anybody. When's the last dude he's fucking counted out? All right, so I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised by that many people saying Canelo's going to stop him. So let me stop. Even
when Canelo tried to knock him out, go ahead, BD.
Let me establish two things, and then I'll let you go. Number one, shout out to the Don for his contribution to Super Chat. He says, "Salud, Don Gonzalo. Stop ducking me, son." Wait a minute, are you getting into it with the Don or something? What's going on here?
Yeah, white rabbits, but he likes drinking, so every time he's on, I have to drink too, and it's not good for my health.
Yeah, okay. But so shout out to the Don, man. Hopefully we make it happen. What were you saying then, Gonzalo?
Yeah, even in the 10th round, when Canelo tried to get Triple G, he couldn't, and Reynoso said, "Stop trying to knock him out," because he's a strong guy, right? So I don't think even like now, especially if like both fighters are fresh, I don't think Canelo can get him like that to the chin because Triple G got an iron chin, and Triple G said that Canelo's punches are like slaps. They got
but how about
translated
that?
into English. That's what he said.
But do you think he was bullshitting because he wasn't exactly running at Canelo? You know what I mean? Like he did with Kell Brook and everybody else. Do you think he's trying to play mind games a little bit?
I don't know. No, it's just the counter punching. If he gets hit with the counter that he doesn't see, like to the body or even upstairs, you just gotta be careful with Canelo because when he decides to throw combos, he can. He's a counter puncher.
He don't slap punch. Man, there was some poop on those words for sure. Canelo can crack. He's just not, you know what I mean, doesn't throw everything behind it. The reason why is he doesn't want to be caught out of position. And he knows he doesn't have to because he knows he's as tough as a $2 steak and he's going to keep coming at you. So he knows he's eventually going to wear your ass down. If he can put his hands on you more than you put them on him, you know what I mean? He knows he's going to fucking, I mean, or equal amount, if as long as he knows he's usually tougher than everybody he fights. Sorry, Gonzalo, what was that?
And that's the thing, Jimmy. If it's a back and forth, let's say, for example, Canelo comes out strong and he throws double the punches. Well, maybe he needs to take the second round off because you got to be concerned about recovering your energy again, but you also got to be concerned about blocking the punches that Triple G is gonna throw. And if you're taking the round off, the other guy's certainly gonna win it, but you still don't want to get hurt to the point where you're gonna get messed up. So there you have it. You go one guy, they alternate where one guy takes one round, and then you lead up to the third round, and maybe one guy steps on the gas and says, "Oh, let me string the next 2 rounds and let me win those." So all of a sudden, one guy's down. I don't know, 3-2 rounds. So the other guy's gonna pick it up, and you're just not gonna let the other guy take over like that. You're just what does that tell you? It's gonna lead up to like the final rounds.
Let me establish something here.
Sorry, BDA, what's up?
Yeah, let's establish something right now. So we're all in agreement, because we still haven't given our picks, but we're all in agreement that contrary to popular opinion, and by popular opinion I mean Ring Magazine and all these journalists, we're not on the boat of people that are saying, "Oh, Canelo's too young, too fresh, he's gonna run through Golovkin." We know this is gonna be a hard fight for as long as it goes, right?
Yes.
Gonzalo Bucho,
I'd be shocked if it didn't.
The only thing that I could see Canelo like really having success, and I'm not too sure. Okay, GGG is going to be bigger, 68. So he was having a little bit of a harder time pulling the trigger on his punches, and that's probably related to age because he's probably thinking something and he's not letting it go as quickly. Now at 68, he's carrying a little bit more weight, and if Canelo implements the waist movement where he makes, because I still think that Triple G is going to throw more punches than Canelo, but if Canelo makes him miss a lot by moving that waist and counters him, Canelo's got a great shot.
You know what? That's a great point because, man, there's a lot to say about this fight. We got to take it step by step. First of all, I want to go back to what Gonzalo said later, but I just want to go back to what Jimmy said about the predictions here from Ring Magazine. Apparently, somebody said that none of the fight picks on Ring Magazine gave Bivol a shot. Or nobody picked him to win, rather. Not that they didn't give him a shot, but they just all went with Canelo. I don't remember that. I thought it was 2018.
No, that's true. That's true. They all
It is true?
did.
Okay.
Every one of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Now, here's my thing. I knew Bivol was going. I'm not tooting my own horn, but the way I say it is that I picked Bivol to win is because what am I seeing that these guys aren't? Because these guys are boxing writers. They watch a lot of boxing. And then you got the trainers. Now, the trainers don't watch that much boxing. If you look at sometimes interviews with certain trainers, like for example, Robert Garcia, sometimes they'll ask him, "Hey, do you know who this guy is?" And he goes, "No, I don't know who that is." These guys are busy. They're in the gym all the time. They're training boxers. So if you want somebody to show you how to throw a jab and they be able to look at you and point out that what's going wrong, they're the best at it. But they're not necessarily always watching fights. We have the privilege of constantly watching fights and rewatching and watching as many as we want. So we're looking at it from a different angle. So I knew Bivol was going to win, but I am surprised that 20-0 picked Canelo to beat Bivol. Well, the reason why I bring that up is because, like somebody said, if you go back here all the way down, look at this. These are the fight picks from Ring Magazine. 20 people, once again, are picking Canelo. Now, I understand why, because, hey, they're in different times in their lives. But here's what I don't get. And let me read you one example. Tom Gray, who's a good writer, by the way. He says, by the time a trilogy comes around, One fighter is usually in a better place than another. Okay, and then at the end he goes, for my money, despite coming off a loss, Canelo is in a better place than Triple G. The Mexican star is younger, bigger, and faster. I think Canelo gets a late stoppage after punishing his rival throughout. Now, just want to point something out. The whole younger, bigger, fresher, and faster thing, that's something that you see throughout these 20 predictions. Now I want to ask you fellas, the panelists, what exactly do you think they mean by fresher and younger? And like, how would that make a difference against the Golovkin who fought Murata, who looked like pretty much the same Golovkin except only slower? What do you guys make of this?
You want to go, Gonzalo?
Now go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. All right, brother. Yeah, it's the safe pick, man. It's the safe things to say. You know, it's how we're having to really dissect and look at it. You know what I mean? Yes, fresher, okay, because he's younger. But he's been also fighting more often, which I don't hold as I hold that as a plus for him. But Triple G is also a consummate professional, right? That boxing is what he did for a living. It wasn't, I got to go get ready for fight. Like one of my favorites, one of my all-time greats, Alexis Arguello. Dude, he liked talking to kids about it, liked to teach the fun, but dude hated boxing. Had crazy hatred for the sport of boxing. Hated the ring. It was like he called it the devil. If you guys ever really want to read in some crazy shit that he used to say, but GGG loves this shit. What's his name? Sanchez went up at Big Bear, would let him hold, not let him, he was the fucking top guy. Like a lot of places, guys will emulate him, but so he would show up to do his routine, and every fighter, including the kid that Usyk knocked out at cruiserweight. What was his name? No, I don't know if he stopped him, but the Russian kid. That dude did. Yeah. What's his name? But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. He'll pop up.
Cruiserweight. Yeah. So it'll come to you. But,
Marius Bradis.
No, the other Russian.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
How come we forgot Gassiev? People in the chat. Gassiev. People in the chat are saying Gassiev. Yeah.
Gassiev. Thank you guys in the chat. I appreciate that. But yes, he was one of the guys who was up there, and he followed Triple G's. And like Gassiev said, dude, go look up the interview. Go look up the shit Gassiev said about fucking Triple G's training. He said nobody hangs with them. Nobody can do what he does. Nobody finishes the routine. And then when he's done crazy routines, he goes on, does an ab routine that fucking people just like, holy shit. Crazy, like off the fucking, off the ring with the 45-pound plates in his chest, like torturous things. Neck rolls. Nobody likes to do neck rolls. Those suck. He does them nonstop. He does neck rolls, does fucking towel head pulls. He does weight pulls. And again, Gassiev, all those guys, if you read anybody who's tried to train with him, they're like, he's an animal. And that's the kind of shit that reminds me of like Marvin Hagler. That was his thing too. Might be faster, quicker, hit hard or something, but you're not going to be in better shape. And that's how he ended up winning some of those fights, including Mugabe. He just fucking out-dogged him. He just had more of it in him because of his training. He credited that. And because Triple G has always done that, it's a question of how much his age going to diminish what he has. And these guys are betting the farm that this dude's coming in legless. I just didn't see that last time out. Like I said, a lot of my pick of how I thought was going to be how he was against the Jap. And, excuse me, that was ignorant. The Japanese fighter. So, and he fucking, I thought he was, a little slow, but again, it was a long time out of the ring, wasn't it? Or he was fighting at different time zones, different excuses, but I still think Triple G, even at a diminished speed, still hits hard enough that he's going to be the harder puncher that Canelo's fought since the last time he fought him, including Bivol. Triple G's power shots are much harder because Bivol doesn't put his weight over his front foot and lay into him like that. That's not his game. He doesn't move like that. So that's why we waited 4 years, okay? Because he knows how hard this kid fucking punches. That's goes to show you his balls. He's like, I'm going in there again. I'm about to eat that kid's shots again. So, yeah, he wants to stop him because, again, all the pressure's on Canelo. That's another thing. Really, it's not on Triple G. He's a 40-year-old man. Everybody calling him to get knocked the fuck out. It's all on Canelo. Because remember, even if Canelo gets a close fucking unanimous decision, people are going to line up. His detractors are going to crucify him. Now he's fucking, he's going life and death with a 40-year-old can. You know what I mean? You just can already see it. So, yeah, that's why I'm surprised they all went that way.
One of the reasons you get tired in boxing, in my opinion, is because you have to be concerned about blocking. You have to tense up your body, and that takes a lot of energy. And that's one thing that against Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders, he didn't really have to worry about that. He could just let go, let loose, unwind, throw his combinations, and if I get hit back, I'm probably gonna take that, and I don't have to be too concerned about bracing my body for what's coming back. With Triple G, yes, you want to throw counters and hard combinations, but do you really want to empty your gas tank? Because after you're done punching, Triple G's coming, and you gotta fucking brace your body. You have to show some sort of strength, some type of integrity to block the punches that are coming back. So that takes a lot of energy. You can't empty your gas tank like on offense. You have to be concerned about what's coming back. You can't go full throttle on Triple G.
Gonzalo, that's right on the money, dude. Seriously. Absorbing hard punches takes it out of you. Even if it hits you in the arms, if it hits you in the side, the hip, the shoulder, that shit takes it out of you. On top of that, like you said, bracing. When you brace for that, you're flexing muscle. Every time you flex muscle, you burn energy. He wasn't doing that, like you just said. That was an excellent point, Gonzalo. Glad you brought that up.
Yeah, thanks, and that's the big, and that's what you should do, because if you don't, you're fucking toast. You're getting knocked out.
Here's the other thing. Some people are disagreeing about the Golovkin hitting harder than Bivol. I agree with Golovkin that fact that Golovkin hits harder. Now, maybe punch for punch, if you do some sort of tests and go by those scientific metrics, maybe they're about even. If you really let Bivol sit himself down, but that's exactly the point Jimmy made. Bivol is not doing that. He might have power, but the way he throws the shots is impeding him from having full power. Whereas Golovkin, he's so calm and so technically proficient to set himself and be willing to get hit to deliver his own payload that he can hit hard. And now here's the other thing, though. I gotta call it the other way too. There's a lot of people that underrate Canelo, and that always happens with the A side or the pound for pound best at the time. Canelo for the past 2-3 years was the best pound for pound fighter in the world. So a lot of people immediately go, he shouldn't be the number one. He's overrated, blah, blah, blah. But look, the guy's got good defense. Oh, and by the way, that's what I want to play these clips because people I've heard people say, he doesn't have good defense. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Golovkin had a hard time catching him the first fight and in the second fight as well. And while I talk, I just want to play you these clips here because even Bivol had a hard time. He had to throw volleys to catch him. Not everybody has those fast hands. And Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders, they have fast hands. But they're not able to launch combos or they're not confident enough to do so against a guy like Canelo. And the reason why is because he's got that good defense. He can parry shots. He's got the head movement. As you can see here, you got Bivol. Look at him. He's going in, but then he's spending a lot of time on the outside.
From the waist up, he's one of the best. From the waist up, he's got some of the best defense in boxing. People just don't see it. He's very hard to hit clean.
Or they don't want to see it. But look, if you want to be honest you got to be honest if you want to call this fight correctly. And the fact is, Canelo and Golovkin, they're very, very tight when it comes to, there's no real skill. I would give the edge to Golovkin skill-wise, but overall package, the mix of speed, power, athleticism, and all that, both guys have a lot of natural talent and skills. It's going to be a fucking close fight, man. Or competitive, I should say. Maybe not close, but competitive all the way through.
And BDA, to the just real quick to the guys in the chat, like, hey, no disrespect to your opinion. I respect it. But for where I'm coming from, too, is you add in this. Yes, I think he stopped Joe Smith, but it was a barrage. All right, like most of his stops, whereas Triple G has just obliterated people with one shot. You know what I mean? Just to the body, to the head. That dude hits hard. Guys who have sparred him, Daniel Boone, I believe was his name, straight up said when asked, it was no like hesitation. Do I have to think about it? And they said, hey, you sparred them both, Triple G and Kovalev. Who hits harder? Before he even got harder out of his mouth, Boone was like, oh, Triple G, for sure. So, I mean, there was no even hesitation. So, and Kovalev's known to want to hurt his fucking sparring partners. Like, he doesn't hold back. He throws his hands. But Kovalev's power is all at the end of his punch. So, again, it's harder with Triple G's thudding all the way through. Just look at the way he rolls his wrist over. The way he fucking keeps his elbow close his body. Punch for punch, Triple G, I would much rather get punched by Bivol because of the way he's going to deliver it and with the intentions he has on it, opposed to Triple G, who's looking to literally take your fucking head off.
Absolutely, man. I mean, those you can just tell his shots are thudding shots, and although Canelo, I will say when Triple G said, his punches are more like slaps, I agree with one thing. I think he's not consistent with his technique. Sometimes he will slap, and I think that's why at some point he wasn't getting as many knockouts as he could have. By the way, shout out to Boxing Expert for his contribution with the super chat. He says, esas jaladas de Triple G por KO se dan abajo del ombligo. Oh, so he does. I don't think he believes Triple G by KO is something that's possible. But shout out to Boxing Expert. I don't know that expression. Abajo, Gonzalo, what does he mean by abajo del ombligo? Because obviously he's talking about low blows, I think, right?
Under the belly button.
Yeah, but what is that? Is that an expression? Anyway, shout out to Boxing.
Under the belt line, the belly button.
That was the thing that
last time I mentioned BDA. Oh, sorry. I got to...
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Last time I mentioned that, because it got brought up that Triple G throws that corkscrew punch over the top. And I said, okay, Canelo, he likes to roll his neck. But when it's coming from the top and it's hitting you and I don't know, like the neck, I could kind of see how it could get like... I don't know, like when a football player runs his helmet into somebody else, it paints the fucking nerves if you're punching down. But also, look, a lot of people don't like to hit to the top of the head because you could break your hand. But when you're Triple G, and I think he's notorious for having like big forearms and like tough hands, dude, he can do that because he knows his hand is gonna withstand hitting like a hard surface, and he's gonna be okay. So when hard meets hard and never been hit like to the top of the head.
He turns his hands over. Yeah, he turns his hands over. So he practiced it so much. Like you watch him just shadow box and turns him over. And like that one with Rubio. Remember Rubio? As he's throwing, he kind of changes the trajectory, and as he's coming over, you literally watch his wrist.
I think
you can punch somebody in the fucking top of the head, even the elbow, if you hit with those two knuckles. It's when you catch him with the pinky or the fucking ring finger. I mean, your pointing finger. If you hit with those two knuckles, the hard, if most of the impact goes on either one of those.
All right, you guys are breaking up. Hold on a second. You guys are breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me? Nah, they're breaking up, man. Hold on a second. Yeah, they're breaking up. Both guys are breaking up, man. I guess it's not just me. It's something's going on with the Discord here. So let me just join back here, man. All right, can you guys hear me?
Something that you never felt before. It's probably weird.
Yep, fucking it pinches your neck and everything goes like you get that instant flash of the same thing when you catch it on the jaw. Yeah, sometimes it might be worse because you're not expecting it. You're not expecting somebody's going to put, like Rubio said, he wasn't expecting to put that much, oomph on a punch coming at his head because most guys won't do it. I mean, Macklin said it. Macklin said he could not believe how hard he punched. Like he said, I try to get myself psyched up for it, try to expect it. You think about, okay, how hard can it be? He goes, then you get in there and he hits you and you're like, holy fucking shit. Like I wasn't expecting that. I mean, this dude can crack. So that's why I say he can punch. I would rather get punched by Bivol in a fight. Not standing there, not giving him a chance to line me up and then throw all his weight behind a sucker punch. I'm talking about in a boxing match.
You know what? That's interesting because fucking Matthew Macklin fought, what's his name? Sergio Martinez, who could crack too. And I mean, just gives to show you the difference in power. Because there's guys that hit hard. But then there's guys like Golovkin, Inoue, and Beterbiev. That's something that only, it's like even
Martinez, another guy who ducked him.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Oh, fucking absolutely. Fucking, he was Lou DiBella's boy. Lou DiBella, oh yeah, I'll do it. We're going to make that fight. And then they bailed on it. And then fucking Triple G even offered more money. Tom Laughlin's talked about it in detail a couple of times. Okay. And I know Steve, in an interview. Oh yeah, no. Sergio, ask Steve. He knows the details to that. absolutely bowed out. He wanted nothing to do with that either. That's what I mean. For like 2 years, nobody would fight him. So what he would do was take his mandatories, because what else was he supposed to do? And he'd get crucified for it. But what he would do with those guys, even though some number 2 ranked, number 3 ranked guys, he'd blow them out in 2 rounds. Fucking fighting stiffs. It's just like, yeah, okay, man. It really pisses me off.
Well, I mean, hey, it is what that's it. It's never going to stop. By the way, the phone lines are open. So if anybody wants to call in and continue giving us your prediction on this.
BDA, remember that the one iconic fucking is, I can't remember the kid's name. He little short black stocky dude. Remember, he catches him and the kid goes on to his seat and then his fucking eyes. What was his name?
Oh yeah, Curtis Stevens. Yeah.
Yeah, remember his eyes? What the fuck?
Yeah, even like Jim Lampley said it, like the eyes say it all. And this guy, he it's almost like he took the air out of him. And see, that's what I'm saying is boxers are used to getting punched. They're used to feeling power. Like the average boxer can hit pretty hard. They're used to it. And if they hit us, it's going to feel like a Golovkin hitting us, but they can take it. Then when you got a guy like Golovkin, like Inoue, those are the type of shots that even these guys go, whoa, what the fuck is it? That's why sometimes some people, they're too ego driven, and they get hit with something and they think, oh, he must be cheating. The guy must be cheating. Nah, man. Sometimes it's just natural power, baby. That's what it is. So like
we could have a show on that. Wilder's made a lot of noise before we go to the callers. I want to talk to you about that. Just in the stuff he's been saying lately, and again with the cheating and some other stuff he said about Joshua. It's just the delusion of this man. It's crazy. But anyways, go to the callers.
Well, well. I just opened up the phone lines, but we're still talking about the fight here. Here's the other thing I wanted to talk about, because again, people say, well, Canelo's fresher and younger. That's what a lot of people are saying. Like we said, just go to Ring Magazine and go to the fight picks. A lot of those guys, experts and writers, are saying Canelo too big, too fresh. This is going to stop him. But here's my thing. If you look at the Canelo of the past 3-4 years, it's mostly sledgehammer shots one at a time that he's launching. I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop Golovkin, because you saw Murata threw everything but the kitchen sink at Golovkin, and Golovkin actually did a good job of deflecting it. And if he couldn't deflect it, he would take him. And he's the one that actually ended up stronger and wore down the younger guy. So, yeah, obviously Canelo's a better fighter than Murata, but punch for punch, I think they're about the same. So if we're just talking about sledgehammering a guy in the arms and the shoulders, I don't see, unless Golovkin has definitely deteriorated physically, I don't see that approach working here. Also, the other thing is, Golovkin, for example, people point out to the Davidachenko fight, and they go, well, he lost that fight against the guy that was strong, therefore Canelo's going to be able to do even better. But here's the thing, and I'm going to put the numbers up here on the screen. Golovkin actually ended up outlanding Davidachenko in that fight. And I'm not saying that means he definitely won the fight, because again, we're spread out to 12 rounds. But if you look at the stats here, Golovkin threw 720 shots, the bulk of that being jabs. Davidachenko threw 738, more than that, and landed 230. But Golovkin still outlanded him. If you look at the CompuBox numbers, which I'm going to be putting as we continue talking, he averages about 480 shots per fight. The only time he broke that and actually threw more, guess which fights he was in? The Golovkin fights.
Canelo.
Yeah, and if you look at the Canelo-Golovkin, the second fight, the Canelo-Golovkin fight, he was at an all-time high, as far as I know, in the past 4 years, 622 shots. That's the fight where he tried to take Triple G out, and he couldn't do it. Neither guy could really do it. And look at Golovkin. He upped it to 879. He's usually at about 600, 700 shots. So, okay, maybe
if there's anybody hurt in that fight, it was Canelo. That's the fact. In the 10th round, he was rocked.
But that's the only thing that I do agree with. Can an older Golovkin throw as many shots as he did in that fight? Because, okay, older...
No.
Right.
I don't think he can. And it'd be stupid to try to peel back at him, but make him count more. Be more selective. Throw combinations. And again, tie him up. Sorry, Gonzalo, go.
No, just Abel Sanchez had him turning over his shots, but now with Banks, Jonathan Banks, he's more about throwing like punches and bunches, combinations. But with the ace factor, who knows?
Yeah, Jonathan Banks, by the way, came out and said that he hasn't watched any of the first two fights. He says he doesn't need to. Do you think he's got to be bullshitting, or?
I'd be pissed if he didn't. If I was Triple J, I'd be like, what the fuck you mean you haven't watched them? The fuck you doing here, dude? Like, you know what I mean? What the fuck am I paying you for?
Right.
I need your fucking, you know what I mean? Break that shit down. What could I do differently? This is the things he can do. I don't understand. That's like almost disrespect. Like, I'm not, why do I need to see it? I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's throwing shine, but, telling Triple G on the side, of course I watched it. I've studied the fucking
Right,
things,
exactly. Yeah, that's
dude.
what, yeah.
I mean, that's what he's supposed to fucking do. Now, when I hear people say that, dude, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude.
I've seen like for example, when Deveryachenko fought Triple G, he was fighting the fight of his life, like Mildred Taylor against Julio Cesar Chavez. He was having some success. He was throwing quick shots and he was befuddling Triple G. Same thing with Kell Brook. When you get brazen and you take that leap of faith, let me go at this dude. Same thing as Murata. You're gonna have success. But I'm gonna say this: Triple G's gonna continue coming until he gets his timing and his distance down, whether he's getting hit or not. So yeah, you can have success against him, but then you might be hitting him and befuddling Triple G. But the further the fight goes along, he's gonna keep inching his feet towards you. He's gonna hold his gloves and he's gonna get the distance with the jab, and bam, it's gonna be his turn coming. So he's like a slow coming monster nowadays. But it doesn't mean that you're always gonna have success and punching. No, yeah, he's getting the distance while at the same time you're tagging him, he's gauging you. So we got to watch out for that. And Canelo fought a smart fight because he's a counterpuncher. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't getting too ballsy with Triple G. You just can't do that.
And Deveryachenko was never the same after that fight. He was hospitalized and shit, all jacked up. His brain was swollen. Yeah, he was never the same fighter after that.
Well, I mean, think about it.
No,
like Gonzalo said, he fought the fight of his life, and then look at the state of him. He was all beat up. He looked like a raccoon. He got dropped in that fight. Yeah, they both did damage to each other, but man. Oh, and there was a sequence where, I don't know if you guys remember, we played it during one of the shows, where he had Deveryachenko on the ropes, and he was sledgehammering him, and the referee stepped in. And he didn't need to. Like, he stepped in and then he stepped right out. And they both looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you stopping the fight or are you? And then they went back. So that little pause there sort of fucked Golovkin's rhythm up. But he put a beating on Deveryachenko.
Big time. That was unbelievable. It was almost like, wow, why the fuck did you just do that? He was like, oh, I should step in. But, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, indecisive judges. I mean, excuse me, referees are the fucking worst. That's what what's his name did when he slapped what's his name, the 140 against Taylor. He slapped Ramirez in the arm like he was going to break him up like he was doing all night, but then stepped back so Ramirez thought they were getting broken up, and then he ate that shot.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people absolve Kenny Bayless for that because technically he never said break, but fighters are conditioned to hear break and feel a tap on the shoulder.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what the fuck was he doing? I don't know. But hey, might have been a mistake.
He slapped him. All night he's doing that, slapping him and breaking him up. And then all of a sudden he slapped him and then stepped back. So he relaxed. He thought he was about to be broken up like he was doing all night. I could totally see that's where his mind was. And then bang, he gets caught with a shot. I'm not, fucking props to fucking Taylor. He did what he had to do. It's not his fault. It was fucking Bayless. Because, he doesn't like guys getting too close to fighters, I guess. Wonder why.
All right.
I went back and reviewed the record and BDA, and I saw the Deveryachenko-Jacobs fight. They were good fights, especially Deveryachenko. But, on paper, Triple G beat Deveryachenko unanimously. He also beat Jacobs unanimously. He dropped those two guys, and everybody else, with the exception of Canelo, he's knocked out, and what Canelo he drew, and the fight that he won was by majority decision. So, and fucking knocked out everybody with the exception of Canelo and the fight that he drew. The other one, he lost it by majority. So one guy had Triple G winning. So as far as Triple G being old, I need evidence. I need fucking somebody to tell me, aside from age is just a number, show me how this dude's old.
Exactly. They're making their picks off of fucking historical past fights, right? That's what all they're going on, because Triple G hasn't fought enough lately. So, and all those factors, but again, I've seen too much of a Kazakh warrior to write him off.
Well, you know what? They used to say the same.
Alone.
They were saying the same thing in another September fight, Hopkins versus Trinidad. When I remember almost everybody was picking Trinidad, and why? He's younger and stronger. And one guy even said, I forget who the writer was. He said, "Oh, Hopkins' legs are going to be shaking." It's like he's 36 years old. He's in tremendous shape. What have you seen from him that makes you think he's going to break down as soon as the pressure is put on him? And again, we saw Murata, a big super middleweight who hits hard, put pressure on Golovkin, and he didn't break. In fact, he's the one that broke the other guy. So I think people are excited when they come out with the age and Canelo's fresher and younger. Those are just basic talking points that they're trying to throw out there to make something happen. But I don't think they're actually analyze the fights closely. By the way, let's continue this conversation after we take these couple of phone calls here. Don't forget the phone lines in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. And don't forget to hit the like. 310, you're on the air. 310, what's on your mind?
Boom Boom Guys, representing LDBC.
Oh,
what's up?
What's up, man?
Yeah, let me just address the LDBC hate that was in the beginning of this video. So, as we all know, you have Muslims and you have radical Muslims. So I can agree. There's LDBCers and then there's the radical LDBC. I don't follow the radical LDBC. I can't sit there and listen to the radical LDBC for long periods of time. So I avoid those channels. I go back and forth between 3 and 4 channels. So, no, the LDBC is not racist.
But you know what? Let me ask you, why do you stay associated with them? Why don't you start your own thing? You know what I mean? Why don't you break off and add another digit to it to make that separation? Why would you knowingly want to stay in an organization that was started by dudes who are clearly motivated by race? I mean, that's not even, you even know it yourself. You're admitting to it. So, to your credit, you're admitting to it. So why would you want to even adopt their moniker? That's all I ask.
So I would say I go between 3 and 4 channels. I don't go to all the channels. And the channels I do watch, they do have good interviews with white people, Mexican people, all sorts of nationalities. Bob Arum comes on the show and calls in. So Bob Arum wouldn't socialize himself with such a racist organization. So what I say is, no, I don't follow the radical LDBC channels. I follow channels where people are openly coming into these platforms and giving interviews. So you should ask Bob Arum why he associated with these channels.
Well, give me a couple. Give me those names.
Radical LDBC.
Give me the names of those 3 channels that you watch where everybody's kumbaya.
I would say,
oh, come on! Don't fucking try to play
He's talking about barbershop conversations because he's the one who interviews Bob.
Jimmy, don't answer for him.
He had to clean his shit up too, though.
Jimmy. I mean, I asked him.
Look, and I actually follow more than just LDBC channels, to be honest. But I would say, Fred Barbershop, Blue Blood Sports TV. I watch the Boxing Voice. They have a ton of nationalities on that show.
Well, the Boxing Voice, I don't know if they're the Boxing Voice. The Boxing Voice, I don't know if they're LDBC.
I'm also here.
Right, the Boxing Voice, I don't know if they're LDBC. So I don't know exactly what their affiliation.
No, they're not LDBC. They're not affiliated with the LDBC. The Boxing Boys.
Right. And Barbershop, he claims Barbershop claims he's disassociated himself from the LDBC, but I think that's because he noticed that playing that angle wasn't getting him any favors with the PBC. In fact, they banned him because they thought he was too toxic, and that's when he sort of turned around and said, you know what, no, I'm not LDBC. I'm all for all colors. But listen, you mentioned the radical LDBC.
As far as I know, he still hangs around.
Right. Well, listen, you mentioned radical LDBC. Here's my problem with that, with like radical Muslims too. There's a lot of Muslims that go, and it's actually white people that defend Muslims more than Muslims defend themselves. And they go, well, it's not all Muslims. Yeah, but I'm telling you, I live here in Montreal. There's a big Muslim population. I interact a lot with them. And they even tell me, especially the younger generations, like, our parents, they don't want to, they don't agree with the extremists. They don't denounce them either. Because they're afraid that there might be next. They might get their heads chopped off, and their business might blow up. So, listen, if you don't want to go along with them and you don't want to call them out, okay, fine. But then don't play. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about other people. They play coy and they go, well, I don't know what the LDBC is. I don't watch. You know exactly what the LDBC is. And if you don't want to call them out, then at least don't come here and call us out for calling them out. Because we're just like psychiatrists. We're looking at the craziness out there and we're analyzing it.
Let me say this, though. I've experienced radicalism on the other side, too. I've come to platforms, including this one and others, where I'm trying to have a boxing conversation, and guess what I'm hit with? Welfare, dog fighting. Another guy has a talking point of an idiot. He says, Tank is ugly. Ryan is cute. Ryan is better. Like,
okay.
Dude,
can I say something about that?
Yeah,
can I say something about that, though? That was during the open panels, though. That's when we let everybody in. And that's free. We let, we let everybody see.
Look, I'm not saying it's your channel. I'm saying this is what I'm hit with on the other side, that these guys need to be called out too. Because everything is gay. Like everything, they'll say transsexual. They'll say Floyd is having sex with Tank. We're trying to have a boxing conversation, and this is what we're hit with. So
well, listen, Tank Davis is on the record. There's video evidence of Tank Davis wrestling shirtless with Adrian Broner. They're both humping each other from the back. We've got video of him kissing or almost kissing Adrian Broner, and he seems to do it by instinct. We've got video of Tank Davis in his underwear in his kitchen with some Dutch wooden shoes dancing. Like he's dancing. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. So that's not too far-fetched. But listen, on this open panel platform, when we have the Open Lines Friday, anything goes. And if you don't like what people are hitting you with, hit them right back, man. It's freedom of speech over here.
I understand that, and that's why I'm here. When I come in and talk, I give my boxing points and I stand on it. But I'm saying some other people, the only thing they have to stand on is Ryan is pretty and Tank is cute. So, and other than that, let's get to the boxing. I mean, if you guys are done, if you guys don't have any more questions about LDBC. But I would say Triple G, Canelo 3. Am I going to buy it? Fuck no. Do I think it's worth $85? Fuck no. But guess what? I have a lot of friends that are into boxing, and I'm going to go over their house, give them $15, and enjoy the fight. Not every fight is worth the money that they say it is, but you can go to a fight party or go to the restaurant and watch the fight. And I totally agree with that.
But it's only
and
60 if you. But it's only 60 or 59 if you have a DAZN. Don't you have a DAZN membership?
I don't think it's on DAZN, right? Even if you had DAZN, isn't it like still a fee for this fight?
No, you get a discount if you're a member of DAZN.
Okay, he's not hearing you. Boom boom. If you have DAZN, you get a discount to pay for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not even worth the extra money. I would say I would rather, but some of my friends are hosting the fight, so I'm going to go over there. I wouldn't say, because I thought you played a video that said it was $85.
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's Canadian dollars or fucking US dollars.
It is $84.99. It's the most expensive pay-per-view I've seen for a long time. So it is ridiculously priced. You know what I mean? They're trying to get some of that early money back. Overpriced, but they're doing it because they're going to make people who aren't members pay through the nose a little bit more, I guess. But they better be doing a discount like they've always done with us, because if they don't, I'm fucking canceling my shit that night. Although I already prepaid. But anyway.
Well, listen, I didn't pay for the fucking Luis Ortiz fight. I actually went somewhere else to watch it. So if you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it. But as long as you're not watching it on the internet, stealing it, because that's what a lot of people do. That's where. Was that?
Yeah, it says $64.99, but this is Canadian. But I think it's the same in the US, 64.
So it's a break.
Yeah. Well, listen, Boom Boom Guy.
I have a year subscription, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
Boom Boom Guy, we got to move on to another phone comment.
Say, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say lastly that people say, "Oh, you can't afford $85." I'm not going to fork up money just because I have it. Like, if it's something I'm really into, but most of the time my friends do have a fight. I've ordered Wilder fights, I think it was $7.99, $100 with the HD. But I'm saying I'm still going to watch the fight. I'm just not ordering here. I'll go somewhere else and watch. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to fork over money every time there's a fight. There's going to be a lot more fights this year.
I understand that. I respect that. You don't want to fucking spend. Who's anybody to tell you how to spend your money?
That's right. Nobody should force you to it. I mean, and if anybody's trying to force you, they might be. Watch out, because they sound like the type of people that might actually try to sexually assault you too while you're sleeping. All right, Boom Boom Guy, we got to move on.
If Spence, one more thing, if Spence versus Crawford happens, I will buy that fight just to let them know. If you continue to give us fights like this, I will support and spend the money.
There you go.
Boom, boom,
Pay
out.
with your there you go. Pay with your pocket. That's the best way to show them that you want to see those fights. All right, boom boom. Thank you for your call, man. Thank you for calling in. All right, let's go. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 917. 917, you're on the air. 917. What's on your mind?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. 917. What's up?
Long time listener, first time calling in, New York, and just a couple things about the fight. I agree with a lot of the things being said, but just looking at Triple G and his the face-off, this guy looks a lot more fresher. So people that are saying like, "Oh, he's too old," I believe that him going up in weight, and I believe how fresh and calm he looks. I think he's going to knock Canelo out in round 11.
Whoa!
I'm calling it. I'm calling it also because I know, Jimmy, one thing you said, yeah, the more fights you have during the year, the better shape you are, but I feel that can go against him as well because he's taken quite a lot of fights in the past couple years, and I think it's wearing. I think he took a step back, honestly, and I feel like this Triple G coming in that during that Murata fight, he did look like his timing was off the first 3 or 4 rounds. But after that, I felt he found his timing really quick, and he looked strong at 158 and fresh.
I respect Joe Pick.
Caller, what do we call you?
B-Rock.
B-Rock? All right, because I got to write down your prediction. So did you say a specific round, or you just said Triple G by stoppage?
11th.
I said round 11. He's gonna stop him.
All right. There you go.
I just see Canelo with he's taking too much wear and tear. So it's not really how old the fighter is; it's how much abuse they've taken.
How competitive do you think the fight's going to be?
Do you guys agree at all?
Well, that's what I'm asking. How competitive do you think the fight's going to be before it doesn't?
I think Canelo's going to come out blazing the first 3 rounds, trying to prove a point and trying to knock him out in one shot like he tried to do with Bivol. And that's not going to work. It's really not going to work. And I think he'll take the first 3-4 rounds, but I feel that he's just going to get tired and he's just going to be defensive. I don't think he's going to look anything like the second fight with GGG, with the flashy, fast combinations. I just don't think he's that fighter that he was 4 years ago.
Interesting, man. I mean, it's we'll see what happens. And I'm going to talk more about the weight issues later on. I think the age and the weight cancels each other out. But B-Rock, anything else you want to say?
No, great show. Keep up the good work. I love listening to you on my long commutes. You guys are great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate the support, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yep.
All right,
we'll
man.
call again. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Call back.
Be
after.
safe.
All right. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 520. 520. You're on the air. 520. What's on your mind? 520. You're on the air. 520. Going once.
Fuck it, man.
Going twice.
Hey, is that me?
Yeah, that's you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was saying hi, but I was in mute. I just find it fascinating that the previous caller, not the one before me, but the one before him, he said that he would pay for Wilder over Canelo fight. Like, that's just ridiculous to me, to be honest. I mean, how much was the Wilder fight? Like $70? Like, and they're saying that the Canelo one is not worth it. So to me, that's ludicrous. But aside from that, I think Canelo's going to come out strong. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 9-3 fight. You know, I believe Canelo's going to school him all together. I don't see Triple G getting knocked out. I mean, he has granite chin. He's a very tough fighter. That being said, I would be surprised if Canelo does pull that knockout out. But I do have Canelo winning a majority decision.
Canelo majority decision. Okay, and what do we call you?
Zero cool.
Zero or Zuro?
Zero cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. You've been on the show. Yeah. Okay. Zero cool. I got you for Canelo majority decision. Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, I'm excited for Bam Rodriguez. You know, we get to see him again, so that's going to be another great matchup. And I heard a little rumor that he might also want to be fighting in December. So if he's able to pull that off, I do have him as a fighter of the year if everything goes good.
Yeah, imagine that. Everyone else is fighting once or twice, and he fights four. If he were to fight 4 times a year and against good opposition,
That'd be insane.
Yeah, that'd be insane, man. Well, anyway, listen, Zero, thank you for your call, and call back after the show, right, man? Take it easy.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, man. All right, don't forget to hit the like.
PBC's
fellas.
on the lookout for a new Bam Rodriguez. The latest one, Payo, went bye-bye.
Rayo, Rayo, and you know what? It's interesting. Somebody was saying in the Discord, it's because Mexican prospects can cut it. Well, it's the PBC that can promote anyone. I mean, you look at their Mexican prospects. The few prospects they have, they don't work out. And then when they have Chris Colbert, Deontay Wilder, Adrian Broner, they end up being hype jobs too. So I just think it's a PBC problem, not necessarily a talent problem. But anyway, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 470. 470, you're on the air. 470, what's on your mind?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, man.
So, Canelo-Golovkin. Hopefully you guys do another call-in show prior to the fight. I'm still thinking about this. One thing about Canelo I've noticed, especially since the last fight with Golovkin, he seems to be getting lazier. Kind of like I would compare him kind of like to Mike Tyson in the second half of his career, where it's like you can still see the skill, but you can kind of tell like he knows he has power, and he knows that at a certain point in the fight, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be the difference maker. I don't see the same guy, I don't see the same technician. I don't see the same guy who's super active, who's moving his head, countering everything with combinations. I don't see that guy. I see him slowly, focusing more on hitting hard, stopping the guy with a shot or two. And I think he tried that with Bivol. I mean, I think he's been successful with that. He was successful with that with Caleb Plant, and some of the other super middleweight fights that he had. And the way he's talking about, I just don't think Golovkin is the kind of guy you can just go in there and I'm gonna knock him. I just don't see it. So I'm kind of leaning towards Golovkin in this fight. I actually was impressed with Golovkin's fight with Murata. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's just a take I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about with Canelo because he's been getting the stoppages. But if you watch his last fight with Golovkin, the guy was in the pocket. He was slipping everything. He was countering with combinations. I haven't seen that guy since. And I think there's a reason why maybe Canelo knows, that was just a great, super great performance, and maybe he's doubtful whether he can replicate that again. That's why this rematch has been, or the third fight has been delayed. But that's just a take that I've seen just observing Canelo over the years.
So what's your prediction?
I'm probably leaning more towards Golovkin in this fight.
So what's your prediction?
Hello?
Yeah,
I think Golovkin stops him late.
But round?
I'm going round 11.
Round 11. All right, that's a fair. That's a good one. I mean, if it's likely to happen, because he's going to have to soften them up. 11 round. Who is this again, by the way?
This is Chris.
Chris. All right, I knew you sounded familiar. All right, Chris, I got you by Golovkin, late round stoppage. But then I put 11 round just to be a little bit more precise. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's all I got, man. You guys keep it up, man. Good show.
All right. And thank you, man. Don't forget, Open Lines Friday. Anybody can jump in there, and we're going to talk more about this fight. All right, take it easy, man.
Okay. All right, guys.
Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
BDA, we don't know his mindset too, like Canelo's. We don't know in the same aspect, we don't know Triple G's, but I'm sure he's relaxed. He probably knows this is his cash out. Well, at least I hope it would be, because he's going to be in a war. But Canelo's, when you start giving a fighter, when they start getting that crazy, fuck you money, check after check, and your bank accounts just where you have to put it in different banks in case one's ever fucking stolen, I'm take all your money, you got that kind of stupid money. people change, man. They become soft. They play golf every day. They start living a very softer lifestyle. How much has that affected him? How much does he still have the love to get in there and grind and to fucking put it in? I'm not saying he hasn't. Well, I know he could be so fucking focused to taking Triple G's head off, he's going to fight like a monster. I'm just saying that could be, another factor, because guys, the more money they get, it's never usually good. A lot of trainers will say they wish they fucking paid their fighters all those millions at the end of their career. More fucking careers have been destroyed by wealth than by fucking in women. Well, women and wealth destroy
By the way,
careers.
there's a guy in the chat, Ayu Vergez. He says triple flop leaves the ring pregnant after Canelo has his way with her/him. I'm telling you, this is really bringing out the Golovkin and Canelo fans. They hate each other, and it's one of the best rivalries I've seen since Pacquiao Mayweather in terms of fans versus fans.
Crazy.
But to say what you were talking about, listen, a guy can still train hard, but physically he can train hard, but his mind is somewhere else, which means he's just going through the motions. And I think that's what Jimmy, is that what you're talking about, more or less?
Of course, it's exactly, yeah. That's what exactly I mean. Going through the motions, you can look great in camp, everything's going good, but your just mind's not there like it used to be. It's just the weird thing. Some guy, and again, that's where wealth takes it away. There you go, Gonzalo. What's up?
Yes, Jimmy. I would also say that a significant difference, because the caller said he had a good fight at 60 with Triple G, but he hasn't seen that type of Canelo. From 60 to 68, that's 8, and from 68 to 75, that's like 15 pounds altogether. And Canelo's like 5'8", 5'9". He has to throw with more conviction because he's fighting bigger guys at 68 and 75. So that's gonna, obviously, you're bigger, you're gonna throw less amount of punches, and you also gotta put a stamp on them fucking punches just to get the respect from the bigger dudes. So that's what I'm saying. You can't throw pity pats like you were at fucking 54 and 60, because although, they're pity pats, you're still fighting in a weight class that belongs to you, so you can still crack because you got the speed behind them. But now, not only you have to put the speed, you also added weight, and you gotta fucking throw hard to get the respect from that opponent. So I think that's why he's looking different too.
That's true, yeah. I mean, he might be able to switch it up and go back to combination punching. We will see the day of the fight, but it's just lately he's been fighting Canelo, that is, one punch at a time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good mixture.
A lot of that's because when you put on the weight, when you get bigger, you know what I mean? Because he can't get taller and wider, so what he has to do is, but to get up in these weight classes, instead of shredding down from a higher weight, he's actually putting muscle on his body, on his frame. That's why he shouldn't have been. That's why I picked Biveld in that fight going in, because I just thought his frame's too small. Just everything's too small for that size. So now it's like you said, because he's not 154. You know what I mean? He just has to be more conservative with his punches. Oh,
and he's got to bang with these big dudes. One thing real quick about Triple G to the caller, not that I'm being a contrarian, but I think also it's not that Triple G is struggling with, not that he's got a problem with the timing. It's just when people jump on you that quick, usually you have like 2-3 rounds where the opponents are studying each other, but when somebody jumps on you, like Argy Cortez did against, what's the Mexican dude, Estrada, or Quadras did against Estrada, hey man, get the fuck off me. It doesn't allow you to get your fucking timing down, because that dude's on you like white on rice. But at the same time, if somebody's on you like that, they're gonna pay the fucking price, because once you fucking are able to gauge that aggressive dude, he's right there. You're gonna be able to get him back. That's what Triple G did to Morata. Morata jumped on him. Oh yeah, he was fucking smothering him. Yeah, he fucking went for broke. He was having some success, but in the end of the day, hey, he's right there to be hit too. Morata.
That's why.
Yeah,
that's why I'm excited.
One of those things.
That's why I'm looking forward to this fight, because both guys are so evenly matched. Canelo and Golovkin, they both got chins of steel. They can both crack. It's gonna be a good one, man. Make sure to check it out. Let's go back to the phone calls here, and then we'll come back here to the panel, keep analyzing this fight. And don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like. Let's go to 347 here. 347, you're on the air. 347, what's on your mind? 347, you're on the air. Yes, MMA champ. Please try to make it quick, because we got a lot of phone calls, man. Make your points succinctly, please.
Oh, okay. So BA, what's going on? I just wanted to talk about. Listen, you guys have been talking about race a lot on the channel, and you guys say that you're against the LDBC, but you guys are becoming the next Mexican white LDBC. It's sad because it's sad because I used to see you guys aren't talking about race a lot, but you're starting to talk about race. But with the Canelo and GG fight, I'd like to say that I think GG is going to stop Canelo. I have a bet with Pearl Cyril. He better pay me my money. If GG knocks him out, like I think he is. But anyway, listen. But listen. At the end of the day, right? Like Jimmy said, even though I don't agree with Jimmy a lot, most of the time, maybe all the time.
All right, most of the times, who cares? Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah.
Factual. He did say something factual about Canelo fighting, one punch at a time. He relies on his power too much, and I think that's gonna be a downfall of Canelo. He's in love with his power too much. And we saw, guys who can box or boxer punchers like GG, they beat it. And I think GG is gonna stop Canelo this time, and that's my opinion on that fight. And also, I heard you were talking about, what's his name, McClellan, who was a dog or dog abuser, animal abuser. At the end of the day, and you like to talk about Shakur a lot. We know NBA, we know the agenda. But anyway, you like to talk about Shakur a lot. But anyways, why aren't you talking about the Mexican fighters? Why are you talking about the other fighters? Why aren't you talking about the other non-black fighters, non-colored fighters who do crazy stuff, getting arrested, doing like pedo stuff too, like Jojo Diaz, the Chomo, right? But let's keep going on. Like, I could go on and on. I could show you their mugshots too. But you don't talk about them.
When somebody called in and somebody called in, they were talking about Jojo Diaz and we were making fun of him. So we do that. So if you can find that, make sure to send it my way so we can have a good laugh. Because let me tell you something. Everything we do here,
well, come on, it's just all in fun, guy.
It's all just fun. It's all peace and love over here. You need to loosen up a little bit, MMA champ. I think you're a little bit too uptight, man. Listen, we've got other phone calls to take.
Wait, hold up.
I said quickly, man. What the fuck?
Listen, BA, I'm starting to think that you say the N-word in private.
What did he say? He says,
wow. I think you gave him too much time.
Yeah, but he said, sorry to say, Mr. BDA, but I just want to let everybody know he said the N-word in private, like talking to you offline, which I've never heard Mr. BDA say.
I think he said you say the N-word in private, which, I was like, how would he
when you're talking to him.
I've never talked to him in private. And I don't want to talk to him. By the way, I don't want to talk to him in private because I think he's a minor. And I don't know, they're just having recorded conversations with him on. I don't know what the fuck. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 678. 678, you're on the air. 678, what's on your mind?
Hey, y'all, am I coming in clear?
Coming crystal clear, there's Trusair. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? I'm going to keep this short, but I know MMA was calling, and I didn't call, man, it's crazy. I can't tell he's going to call, but my call is going to be the opposite, man. I want there to be on the Discord a segregated page, man, until we sort this shit out. Because let me tell you something, bro. These LDB, listen, this last thing that this motherfucker said, bro, I crossed that line, man. There's no turning back, and we need the dust to settle. We need to sort some shit out. And I request a separation from the colored. And, keep the Mexican pace, because that's what you are, BDA. Let's keep it a buck.
Well, listen, I'll shoot the suggestion to the BDA. I'll shoot the suggestion to the BDA board of directors. How about that? See what they got to say about it.
I'm happy with that.
All right.
I'm very happy with that.
All right. You want to give your prediction for the Triple G Canelo 3 fight?
Oh, you already gave it. Already. I said a sixth round body shot.
There you go.
What I want to say real quick before I leave, man, I'm more excited about this Wilder Ruiz fight, man. I think that's where it's really going to come down to.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, Sarah, anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, thanks for the show, BDA. Thank you and Mr. Repit. And Jimmy, awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And hey, try to come back to the second Renaissance, man.
Soothsayer, thanks, brother.
All right, man. Shout out to Soothsayer for calling in. I got to read a couple of super chats here real quick. Well, hold on a second. Where am I? Dennis F from Boston. I didn't forget you, man. Triple G by split decision follows Bivol map to victory. All right, I got your prediction down, Dennis. Going with Triple G by split decision. I actually think that's the safe pick right there. I might go with it. Not sure yet. Shout out to Tony Boswell for his contribution to Super Chat as well. And he says, well, if I can just scroll down here. Oh, no, sorry. Rex first. Rex, shout out to the Rex Master. He says, BDA asking MMA champ to say something quickly is like asking a wall to move. It's not going to happen. Well, I mean, I tried, man. I told him, do it quickly. Okay. Well, I want to say, like, one thing, like, he was killing me over here. And I know Butch was fucking angry. He's blaming me for the fact that I haven't caught MMA champ off mid-call. But hey, listen, he's calling in. I got to give him his shot, man. Shout out to Tony Boswell, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat as well. He says, much respect to BDA and the chat. I stopped in to show support and hit the like button. Salute, 100%. Just got off work. Shout out to Tony Boswell, one of the most liked guys in the YouTube community. In the YouTube community, listen, we're all a bunch of fuck-ups here. We're all a bunch of degenerates. Tony Boswell is the guy that I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him. That might actually be very suspicious, by the way. Maybe that's the guy you got to keep an eye on, Tony, because he might be the one that has bodies in the closet or something. I don't know. No offense, Tony, but that's just, I'm a cynical bastard. What do you want from me? Shout out to Tony for his contribution with the super chat. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. All right, let's go back to the phone calls here. Let's go to 214. 214, you're on the air. 214, what's on your mind?
Oh, okay. What's up, guys?
What's up?
I think this fight's going to be a competitive fight because of Canelo's new style. You know, I think that at first he might be hurting Triple G a little bit, but I think Triple G is going to get accustomed to it. You know, I think Triple G is going to box more, and I think this fight is going to be very competitive. And I think Canelo's going to try to rally, you know, in the last couple of rounds. I think it could either go. I think it could go either way. I think it's going to be a majority decision for Canelo this time.
Interesting. Majority decision, you said.
Yep.
All right, then what do we call you?
Justin.
Justin. All right, Justin, I got you down for Canelo majority decision. Anything else you want to say?
You know, I probably won't be watching the fight. I will be waiting for the highlights, though.
All right, yeah. Listen, I don't blame you, man. Paying the zone and then a pay-per-view fee on top of that, I'm not surprised that people don't want to pay for this stuff. But I think it's going to be a good fight, man. So, shout out to you, Justin, and call back after the show. All right, man. Take it easy. All right, man. All right, let's go to another phone call. Let's go to 832. 832, you're on the air. 832, what's on your mind?
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
You hear me? All right, bet. So my prediction for the fight, I think, I don't know, man. I could see it. Like, wait, say it again?
No, go ahead, man. I think there's some interference, but just keep going. All
right. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like on the fence. Like, I don't know if I should pick Canelo or Triple G, but whoever I'm leaning with it's most likely gonna be a split decision. And I see Triple G and Canelo, they're both slowing down in their fights. If you haven't noticed, like their stamina, I don't know, they both have stamina issues now. But yeah, man, I think Triple G's new trainer is gonna be a interesting thing to see, because I remember in the second fight, Triple G was trying to show his inner Mayweather at times against Canelo, but trying to be all slick and stuff. But I don't think that's necessarily his style. And now, like, Canelo is hitting the arms and stuff now, and his fights. So I don't know how it's gonna play a part. I think Canelo's gonna hit Triple G's arms. He's much shorter than Bivol. I know he does use his jab a lot, like Bivol, but he's not Bivol. So I don't know, man. But he does have that overhand right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, a split decision for Canelo or split decision for Triple G. That's my guess.
And who is this again?
Straight G Turo.
Straight G, all right. Straight G, thank you for your call, man. All right, I got you down for Canelo split decision. All right, we'll see what happens. Keep calling after the show and keep talking to you on the Discord, man. All right, man. Take it easy. All right, let's. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Let's go to 187. You're on the air. 187. What's on your mind?
Yo, is that me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, man. What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up? It's Shazar, man. Another great show as usual.
Thank you, man.
So everything that's been said has basically been said, but another point I don't know if it's been talked about yet is the weight. Canelo's like naturally smaller than Triple G by a few inches. I know they're built differently, but I think Canelo's above his natural weight class, and he's like at 175 right now, right? And he probably weighed more than that when he fought Bivol, so he's gonna have to cut a lot of weight. So I'm wondering if he's gonna be drained.
I mean, there's a video of Canelo with the sweatsuit on, and there's a shitload of water coming out. I'm talking a stream. So
yeah, so like I don't know if it's gonna be water weight or because he could be a freaking, if he's a skeleton when it comes to the weight, he might be really like actually drained. Whereas like Triple G is coming up from 160, 168, and he's been like getting bigger. Like we've been seeing him fight, and he's getting huge. Like this guy is freaking like jacked right now, right? So I think Triple G, ironically being the older guy, might like perform better because he's not trying to cut weight. He's fighting at like a normal weight for his size, whereas Canelo won't be.
That's a good point, man. I mean, and like I said earlier, the some people say, well, Canelo's younger. Yeah, but he's also heavier now, much more muscle mass. Golovkin's not going to put on that much more muscle mass. He's just going to stop cutting weight. So that might negate the so-called
that's what I think.
age difference. Yeah. So what's your prediction, Shazar?
I don't know. I don't quite know yet. I think the safe answer is obviously like Canelo decision. I don't think Canelo knocks him out. There's no way. I think Canelo's been progressively performing worse. And like I said, like on the last call, he's gotten civilized. Like you always see him out golfing and partying and shit like that, and freaking watching goofy ass documentaries with his freaking tranny wife about being vegan. So I don't know if he looks really bad when it comes to when they do the weigh-in. If he looks like a freaking skeleton, he's all pale and shit. I think Triple G might knock him out. Like Triple G's got nothing to lose here. Like this dude's at the end of his career. He's looking big. I think he like legitimately fucking hates Canelo. And I think Canelo's a little scared of him. I think like if Triple G like fights smart, because I mean like he already beat him twice. Like let's be real here, he beat him twice. Bivol whooped his ass, and there was times where like Bivol, who probably doesn't hit as hard as Triple G, was rocking Canelo. Like he had him languishing on the ropes, like cracking the shit out of him. Like if he does that again, if Triple G puts Canelo on the ropes and he's got nowhere to go, he's gonna get fucking hurt, man. Like. Canelo's thing is like his feet are slow, but he's got like god tier freaking head movement. And if he has nowhere to move his head, if he's on the ropes, he's gonna get rocked, man.
That's a good point, man. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what happens, man. I think Canelo's gonna go back to the old Canelo and try to fight it like the old Canelo. I mean, so listen, I get you.
He could try. Like he's progressively like just loading up on shots. Trying to like power shot guys through punching him in the arms. That's not going to work against Triple G, man. Like I know he's old, but I mean I don't think he even looked that bad against Murata. Like he looked a little rusty, and then boom, he was freaking like fucking this dude up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm mixed. Like sometimes I think Canelo's going to go to Canelo decision. Other times I'm like, man, Triple G might get the knockout.
Well, I got you down for the Canelo decision, the safe one. All right, man.
Okay.
All right, man. All right, Shazar, thank you for calling in. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, take it easy, man.
Yeah, I'll see y'all soon.
Take it easy.
Bye.
All right, let's go to 929. 929, you're on the air. 929, what's on your mind?
What's up, BDA?
What's up, man? Who is this?
Virtuoso.
Virtuoso. What's up, man?
Hey, man. What's going on? Sup, Rosalo? Sup, Jimmy? So yeah, I wanted to bring something up about the complaints about. Hey, man, I'm doing all right, man. So yeah, I just want to bring up some of the complaints people are making about the prices. Okay, so yeah, I get that people don't have the zone and don't want to pay $85 for a fight that they think they know who the winner is, right? So and for those for them people, they could go fuck off. I don't care if they don't want to fight. I still want to watch it, but here's a better alternative, a legal alternative. Just watching the movies. because I saw the first 2 fights in the movies. There's this thing called Fathom Events. You basically just basically do a quick Google search about Fathom Events, Triple G, Canelo 3, showtimes, and they'll show you like a link to their page. And if you type in the zip code, they'll probably show you the nearest fucking theater where you can watch it. So that's about it, man. Now as far as the fight, listen, I think this is pretty much a song for ring rivalries, man, because this is the areas where people don't want to fucking do trilogies or even 2 fights. It's all these big fights always gotta end up being a one-off because they're trying to stall their careers, trying to get the most money out of their careers. So I'm gonna just put it like this: this fight should have taken place in 2019. Canelo, yes, he was adapting to the style, this pressure, smart pressure style, like we saw in the Jacobs fight that he was adapting to. But when I look at the fight with Derevyanchenko, I'm like, what if I put Canelo in that spot and he was the one landing body shots? And you know how Triple J kind of folded a bit. He kind of reacted poorly to them punches. I mean, I think he could have had a shot at beating him then, But it still would have been a more competitive fight. I still think that at that time, Golovkin was still throwing punches right up to the middleweight average. But this time around, he's slowing down. But, so he's gonna have to be picky with his shots. But the way I look at this fight, I think Canelo stops him early through the body.
Whoa.
I think he invests early in the body and he stops him late.
All right, Virtuoso, I got you down for Canelo stoppage to the body, which is what a lot of people are saying. That those who are picking Canelo by stoppage are saying body shot, body shot, body shot. All right, I got you down. Virtuoso, call back after the fight, all right, man? We'll see what's up.
All right, man. I'll probably call, hopefully, because I want Triple G to win. Peace out.
All right, take it easy, man. And by the way, he made a good point of you can watch it in the movie theaters. He said it's available near where he's at. Also, go to a bar, man, if they're playing boxing. Because how many times did I go to a bar to watch a fight, and I spent about $30. I bought a meal, a couple of drinks, and that's it, $30 for the night, as opposed to 80-something bucks. Or you do what other guys do, like some of the callers said, you go to a friend's house, he pays for the pay-per-view, everybody brings something to eat, or vice versa, everybody chips in for the pay-per-view, and he's the one that supplies the food, and boom, you got yourself a fight party. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 317. 317, you're on the air, 317. What's on your mind?
Hey, BDA, I don't like that you hate on blacks, but I support people. I support black people who hate on every other race, BDA.
That sounds exactly like the MMA champ. I actually thought that was MMA champ for a while there.
Sorry about that one caller, man. He's just the whole LDBC is hypocrisy. That's all I have to say. As for my prediction, I'm gonna go with Canelo late stoppage.
Canelo.
I just think that the body shots again. I know everybody says it, but I think the body shots will slowly wear down Triple G. But in the early rounds, Triple G is gonna be a competitive fight.
Interesting. Who is this again?
Maine. I'm
Maine.
new to the panel, but
all right, Maine.
M-A-I-N.
M-A-I-N. The main guy. All right. You almost got me with the fucking MMA champ there. And by the way, people are saying because I couldn't hear what he.
Before I go, I also wanted to add how it's funny how they say, "Oh, I don't want to pay for this Triple G Canelo trilogy. It's so old or whatever," but they will pay for a Wilder or Ortiz fight. Like, come on now.
That's a great point. And even Boom Boom said, I'm not going to pay for the Canelo fight, but I'll pay for Wilder Helenius. It's like, listen, he wants to spend his money that way. Like he said, but if you're a boxing fan, that's the fight you're going to choose to pay for, then you're not really a boxing fan. You're a fan of Wilder.
Exactly. I mean, that's fine. You just don't try to portray as, I know boxing, and then just fanboy over somebody.
There you go.
I was going to say something else. I forgot.
Well, if you remember, just call back. All right, man?
I guess that's it.
All right, man.
Okay.
All right, thank you for your prediction. Call back next time, man. You too, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we got through the phone calls. I didn't even think we were going to get that many phone calls today. But it's a big fight, so obviously you can tell. The people that say that there's no buzz. Look at the buzz here. Everyone, we got 15 more predictions at least here, or well, maybe not 15. I forget how many. All right, listen, guys. I want to.
BDA.
Yeah, Gonzalo, go ahead.
I was gonna say something. What I've noticed in boxing, and I'm not 100% sure, but this is just. I think this is true. The higher you go up in weight, the less knockouts to the body you get. Like I made an example about this before in the heavyweights. It's not that you can't get a body knockout to the body, but you rarely do. And I think it's because when you're bigger and you got more, you're rehydrated more, whether it's fat or there's more blubber around the muscles. Because just because you're fat doesn't mean that there's no muscles under the fucking fat or like the water weight around your torso. Yeah, you got extra protection. The higher you go up in weight, the less knockouts you get to the body. If you watch the lower weights, they're always getting knocked down to the body. So I'm thinking now with GGG going up to 68, that little extra protection around the organs, that whether it's by rehydration, a little bit of water weight, that's an extra layer of protection. The toughest dudes that I've seen in the military were the Green Berets, and those are fat motherfuckers. They can run all day, and they can do a lot of sit-ups. They can do a lot of sit-ups. Just because you're fat doesn't mean that there's no muscle under the fucking fat. And I'm not saying that Triple G's going to be fatter, but he's going to be more hydrated.
Well, you know what? I've often wondered why heavyweights, they can take, I've seen some of those dudes, they take a flush shot to the body, and it doesn't affect them. Now, in regards to the rehydration thing, there's guys that spar and they're not dehydrated and they still can take body shots. So maybe that's not quite it, but it might be a factor for sure. And so as it pertains, like you said, to Golovkin, yeah, it's true. Listen, Golovkin looked shredded against Murata, and he's always looked in good shape. But even when he was fighting like Davidachenko and all that, he had a little bit of a layer of fat. Then all of a sudden against Murata, he looks shredded. The guy's on some sort of new PED. Because I always thought the top guys, all the top guys are on something. But now he's on that turbo shit, I think. So now this is like, again, another parallel to Marquez, Pacquiao 4. Marquez went in there and now he was juiced too. Just like Pacquiao probably was. And I was like, power against power, baby. Let's see who's got the best pharmaceuticals. And I think that's the same thing in this fight. That's why I'm so excited for it. Because it's two power punches and I think they're going to deliver.
Another thing, BD, when people get older, you get the look more like the weathered look. Not the haggard. It could be the haggard look, but also like if you're tough and you're in shape, you get the weathered look. You know, like you can look pretty fucking good, like older, because you look more chiseled, like worn down but still tough. And I think that's Triple G.
Right. And by the way, Bray in the chat says he said he has a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning coach for the first time in his career. Yeah, but what is that code word for, really? When they say, well, I got a new nutritionist and strength and conditioning coach, well, you think that he's giving me a couple of shakes, broccoli shakes, that makes a difference? Nah, man, they're giving him something different. You don't get more shredded with age, especially at 40. Unless you're on, there are exceptions, obviously, naturally, but most of these guys, they're on something. You got to admit that. We just got two more phone calls here. Let's go. 301, you're on the air. 301, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, BDA?
What's up, man?
I just heard you say that you got through the phone calls, and I was like, nah, not yet.
No.
Not done yet.
Right. Yeah, I got you, man. No, but I like taking phone calls. I like listening from you. We like hearing from you, fellas. What's up, man?
Every time you think you're out. Every time you think you're out, I pull you back in.
That's right. That's right, man. What's up, man?
Yeah, this is Irish Andre Ward, by the way. Yeah, I can't lie. I've been watching a lot of Pacquiao Marquez 4. Like, just, I don't know. I guess it just subconsciously creeped in with the fight looming in. And every time it's shocking, Every time I'm like, what's going to happen? But yeah, I think it's, frankly, like a totally different fight. I've been rewatching the first two fights a lot too, just because on their own merit. I think I've watched them like at least a dozen times each throughout the years. And I gotta be honest, I'm in the minority here because I always felt like the first fight. Sorry, what? I hear some
it's interference. Just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel honestly, I felt like the first fight was always closer than the second. I always felt like it was like a slim Triple G victory, 7-5-ish. Maybe you go 8-4. Maybe you could even do a draw if you're so inclined. I felt like Canelo was doing a lot of good things, like shutting down Triple G's offense. Triple G had a really slow start. He's been having like a slow start ever since Jacobs, really. You could even go back as far back as Monroe. He, started to slow down a bit, which is, common for a guy at 35. But in the second fight, I felt like Triple G was a lot more comfortable. Like they were fighting in the middle of the ring. And one thing I'll point out is that I didn't find a single moment in the whole 24 rounds where G was back up against the ropes and was, getting wailed on. So, Canelo's going to have to adjust his style considerably because he's been pretty, lazy in the ring against these guys who just let him waltz in. I mean, let's be honest. This guy's got cinder blocks for feet. He doesn't have good footwork at all, He shouldn't be able to just walk through into your guard and start throwing haymakers. Like, he literally just loads up. Like, I don't know if you watched the Saunders fight very carefully, but he just loads up with the right hand, and Saunders is, running away. Like, why don't you counter? Like, you see the punch coming, and he just throws it. I don't see that working against Triple G personally. I think he's a smarter guy, Like,
so what's
it's funny, I think there's, one highlight where G, lands, an uppercut and pivots around, and then they show Canelo throwing back with a right hand, but Triple G has his right hand up and blocks. That's one of the highlights.
I thought that. I think I know which uppercut you're talking about. I thought that did land from Canelo. But hey, listen, they're gonna solve it on Saturday. Finally, it's gonna. Well, we think it is. Finally, the third one's gonna be the final one. What's your prediction?
Yeah, man. I mean, I would like to go with a Triple G victory. I just don't know if they'll give it to him. I feel like it's gonna be another close fight. I feel like the scoring is gonna go Canelo's way again. But I just feel like there are a lot of scenarios that could play out, so it's really interesting. Because there's the age, there's the weight, there's all these different factors that could throw it off.
Right.
It could just be a repeat of the second fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of intent. There's a lot of things there. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
I'm inclined towards Triple G victory. I don't really know.
Well, I got you down for Canelo. I got you down for Canelo.
I'm excited.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your call, Irish, and we'll call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy.
All right, guys. Yeah, have a good night.
All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go
to you down for Canelo.
Let's go to 832.
Ambivalency going on there.
832, you're on the air. 832, what's on your mind? 832, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. 832. Try to talk as close to your telephone as possible, please, because I can barely hear you. But yes, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't hear. Let me see if I change. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, man.
I can.
Yeah, my name is Victor, man. Really, really good show.
Thank you, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Man, you've been touching on several different topics. Very interesting. The racing with the LDBC. I'm gonna leave that as like that. I think that that topic is it's stupid. Just because the racial thing, the way it is handled with the bias, is so annoying. And I say it from a point of Latin African person. So you can imagine the things that people like me go through, but we're not making a big stand out of it. So I don't know. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but it's just an annoying topic, especially when it's brought up in the middle of a boxing debate.
Well, you should see how we feel. We gotta deal with this stuff every time, man. Every day, when people talk about, well, these guys they get the most views, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but they're not actually talking boxing. And listen, the new fans that don't know about boxing, they write boxing on the YouTube, and the algorithm takes them to the LDBC channels, and then they think that's boxing. They think talking about race all the time is boxing. So we gotta do our due diligence here. We got a duty to protect some of these young minds, because if we don't do it, who's gonna do it?
Well, and to the caller, what he said too, he's probably a first-generation person here, and usually they don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? I find that to be the case a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's Latin American of African descent. That's different than African Americans that follow the LDBC. It's way different.
Yeah, I do understand that, and the due diligence is being taken care of very good. I mean, I'm not against that. When I say that I think that topic is stupid, it's just because it's annoying coming from a boxing standpoint. But I do appreciate what you're doing because, of course, yeah, there's a group of people that are more neutral. Sadly, it's a smaller group of people, but they're open to listen to different point of views, like the ones you guys are sharing in this space. And actually, they're able to see, even though they're a minority, they're able to see, they're like able to see, the boxing debate is not based on race all the time. Want to talk about boxing, so yeah, that's what I wanted to say in regards to that. With Golovkin and Canelo, man, it's something that annoys me is that people get carried away by the last performances too much. There's people that were saying that Canelo was able to knock Usyk out, and now they're saying he's done and his gas tank is over. and hey, I'm not a Canelo fanboy. The way I can pass that fanboy test is by saying that I think he lost the first fight, and the second fight could have been a tie. So, but the thing is that I like people to be a little bit less biased and think more about the fighters have more in them than the last performance. Right, also, in the reverse way, like Triple G wasn't a star in his last fight, so it doesn't mean like he's gonna run through Canelo. It doesn't mean that Canelo is gonna get knocked out by Triple G because he looked horrible against Bivol. Bivol was just better. It's like the people saying Lomachenko was done because he lost to Teofimo, or when Floyd had that bad performance. So let's see the fight, and that's what's so exciting about boxing. People don't know shit about what's gonna happen.
That's right. We don't know. We can only go by the overall last 2 or 3 years, man. So that's why I'm curious. Who are you picking for the fight?
Sorry, man. Can you repeat that? You broke up a little bit.
Who are you picking this Saturday?
Well, man, with what I already said, it's very hard for me to pick someone. But I would say it's gonna go to the 12. It's gonna go the distance. And because Canelo is Canelo, they're going to give it to Canelo again. And we're going to be talking about controversy, even though the fight is going to be tied. And it could probably go either way, but they're going to give it to Canelo.
Listen, Victor, I hope it's...
And the other one, I'm going to be judging the fight again.
Right, there you go.
Judges that judged the second fight. So
well, Victor, I'm telling
that.
you something right off the bat. I hope it's controversial. I want it to be controversial because I want to have something to talk about the next day, man. So, Victor, I got your prediction down. Call back after the show, all right, man? On the next show, rather.
Yeah, great call.
All right, man. Stay safe, and I really like you for liking controversy. Stay safe.
You too. Stay safe, man. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 585. 585, you're on the air. 585, what's on your mind? 585, you're on the air.
How you doing, Mr. Bucho? This is Vin.
Oh! No, wait a minute. This doesn't sound like the real Vinny, man. Who is this?
Yes, how you doing, Mr. Bucho? This is Vin.
This is not the real Vinny, man. Stop it. I don't want anybody... Listen, if you're out there trying to do impersonations, whatever, you can do impersonations about me, Jimmy, Gonzalo, whoever you want, but you don't dare do it about Vinny, all right? So let's stop it right now.
Whatever happened to that dude?
Yes. How you doing, Mr. LSB? Yes, I would like to talk about Canelo Alvarez versus a Triple G this Saturday.
Well, hold on. Is it Bucho and Gonzalo? Hold on. Bucho Gonzalo, is this the same Vinny or does he sound different?
I saw a comment from Vinny on some post that we on our channel, so it's maybe him because maybe he's making a comeback.
All right, let's assume it is Vinny. Vinny, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, man. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No problem, Bocho. Yeah,
This is BDA, by the way.
Triple G is going down, and he will be staring at the lights, guys, and I'm going to be loving every second. I cannot wait till Saturday, guys.
So you're saying Canelo stoppage then?
Yes, Mr. BDA. Canelo will stop Mr. Triple G. He's too old, guys. He's like a fossil in boxing terms, guys. And the bum that Triple G just beat, Mr. Murata, he should be fighting in ESPN Deportes. He is garbage, guys.
Well, I got your prediction down, Vinny. Now I got to ask you on a personal note: are you still? What the fuck am I crackling up here? Are you still drinking Coca-Cola before your sparring sessions?
Yes, Mr. BDA. I still drink Coca-Cola. There's a shortage here where I'm at currently.
Oh.
So I've been going to different places, and I've been very successful. I definitely will have my 12-pack once Canelo hits him with a body shot and he goes down for the count, guys. I cannot wait. Triple G, I just want to say to all his fans, I feel sorry for you guys on Saturday, and I will be cheering.
All right, there you go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you. The return of Vinny, and he says he's looking forward to Triple G getting knocked out, and he's going to enjoy his 12-pack of his soft drink of choice come Saturday. Thank you, Vinny. Call back next time. Good to hear back from you, man. Really, really elated to hear back from you.
I thought those funny charges.
No problem, Mr. BDA. Canelo, 11th round stoppage. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you. I got your prediction down. Canelo, 11th round stoppage. Mr. BDA. That's fucking, that guy's terrifying, man. He's fucking terrifying. All right. Hold on. Okay. 619, you're on the air. 619, what's on your mind? 619, you're on the air. 619, going once. Going twice.
Hello?
All right. Ah, shit. As soon as he says hello, I fucking hung up on him. I know you're still in the air, I think. Are you still? Can you hear me, 619?
He's still there.
I think there's a big delay. No, he hung up. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got a delay here with the callers, and now I'm crackling up for some reason. 434, you're on the air. 434, 424, 424, you're on the air. 424, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? This is Joseph.
Grilson?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph. All right.
Hey, GGG is due. I think it's going to be a majority decision. It's going to be a hard fight. But he throws 20, 30 more punches around, more per round than Canelo. That's going to be the difference. Canelo's got good defense. So that's my prediction. Majority decision, Golovkin. Hey,
Whoa.
2 questions. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Where's Recognized?
Recognize he's a busy beaver, man. He says he told us months ago, hey guys, I'm gonna, that fucking recognized voice he does, I'm gonna be very busy. I go, come on, what's the deal here? He goes, yeah, I'm gonna be busy. So we've been talking to him on and off the air. He says he's gonna try, he's been dropping by the chat too. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him. He was a good ad.
No, we miss him too.
Have a good day. Hey, the fight's in the theaters in California at Cinemark Theaters. You can see the fight.
All right, Cinemax Theaters. All right, that's fantastic. That's good to know, man. And check it out on the internet too.
All
right, man. Thank you, Joseph. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Take it easy.
All right, thanks.
All right, I got his prediction down. He says Golovkin is due for a win. All right, fellas, I gotta go to the wee room. I want to get your thoughts on something here in regards to everyone's talking about the body shots, and like I said, Canelo went to the body in the second fight, and Golovkin took him. He's very good at tucking his elbows in, and like Gonzalo said, now he's adding extra weight. Do you short of a pinpoint shot to the chin, can Canelo stop Golovkin? What are the chances in percentage-wise? And I'll be right back.
You guys want to take that?
I don't know, man.
I think he holds his guard up pretty good, and he's got the good jab, which blocks the opponent's face. It'll be in Canelo's face a lot. And he's like a fucking tank, man. He's always coming forward. The thing that's very discouraging is when you hit a guy and you're not even budging him. That's got to be discouraging, man. It takes a lot away from your mental state.
Yeah, if you
Your
put
confidence.
everything into a shot. Yeah, if you put everything into a shot and you catch him flush, and you know you can't hit him any harder than you just hit him, and he just keeps coming forward. Oh, of course, because then you're like, okay, so now I know what I got to do. I'm not going to be relying on that shot. It's going to be a combination if I'm going to get him out of there. And that's when they, usually start working the body, because no matter how good somebody's chin is, anybody if caught perfectly to the liver is toast.
You saw Canelo. There's these clips in slow motion where what I mentioned, yeah, exactly that happened. Canelo hit him with his best shot, and you could see Canelo look dissuaded, where he just like a double take in slow motion. That obviously he's feeling like, man, dude, you could see his mind playing out. Dude, I hit this dude with the fucking hardest shot that I could throw, that I could muster, and he's still fucking there.
Yeah.
And like I said, GGG said, oh, his fucking punches feel like slaps. I think he's probably exaggerating, like Mr. BDA said, but...
Yeah, he's exaggerating, but he might have been hit harder. Because remember, he started out as a welterweight, albeit he only had one fight, I believe, at 147. But he started out as a welterweight, where Triple G's been fighting at middleweight since the Images, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, Canelo's, it's a combination of his speed and his, accuracy, and he hits hard enough, and he's just tough. He's hard to get out of there. So he beats people down. I mean, that's how he's beaten down. I mean, outside of the Brit, who he went the distance, and that's all that kid tried to do. But that's what he does. He beats people the fuck up. He hasn't really smoked somebody since Kirkland, I think, right? I mean, just like, oh, no, that's not true, Khan, but come on. The fuck, dude, falls like a launch when everybody hits him.
The best shot that Canelo has to hurt Triple G is off a counter when he's moving his waist. Because if you make GGG miss, then he's breathing in and out, and there's a sign of life in the monster. It's like when you're playing the fucking video game, and then you see the heartbeat fucking like throbbing, and then you got the bar where you take that dude's energy away. If you hit that dude on the fucking on his shell, and the fucking bullets are just bouncing off that dude, you ain't gonna fucking hurt him. You gotta hurt him where there's like a sign of life, like in the fucking heart. And in the essence, what I'm trying to explain, when Canelo makes Triple G miss, and he thrusts all his body into it, then he's breathing in and out. Catch him in the soft spots. Yes, to the belly, also to the head. But after that dude misses, because that means he's not. He's kind of half the man he is, because he's thrown all his weight forward and he's open. Right? There's a sign. There's a sign of life in there.
Well, Canelo dislikes him too, really dislikes him, right? So I'm wondering if he's willing to do shit like in a clinch to throw a couple of fucking hippers, give him a couple of hip pointers. Those suck. A couple of good shots to the hip, they can slow you down, So I'm curious to see how aggressive he is, because I know he definitely doesn't like Triple G. So
yeah, fighters have complained about that in the past. Canelo hurt Mayweather with a hip shot, and like somebody else, I believe, and all them shoulder shots. Yep.
Have you ever got hit there once? Have you ever been hit there good? Like right on a hip flexor?
Yeah.
Makes your whole numb. Your whole leg goes numb. Trying to hop around, like can't even feel your leg.
That also can hurt the opponent's hand, I believe. But yeah, Triple G got tough hands. And Canelo does too. Yeah, Canelo hits good to the body. He's lower center of gravity, shorter, a consummate body puncher, but can belt you with the right and the left. Yeah, and especially if you make Triple G miss, if you contort your body where you go under and around, you're already spring loaded to throw them hooks. What?
Well, you'll find that most guys who have bad hands, who are notorious hand breakers, don't usually go to the body, because you're just as likely to break your hand throwing a shot to the body when you hit an elbow. More guys break their hand with elbow shots than they do off the head. The elbow is the hottest point of the body. Like just somebody throwing an uppercut, the punch coming to the body the wrong way catches the elbow. That snaps a lot of hands. So, and you see some guys are real good at it, tucking their elbow in at the last second to try to, get you to punch their elbow. You know what I mean? They'll turn and try to place their elbow. In fact, somebody broke a video down just recently, and you could see him doing it, like the fighter turning into it. You
said Chocolatito
Marvin
used to
Hagler
do
was
that, right?
excellent at that. I'm
You
sorry,
said
BD, what's that?
You said Chocolatito does that too, right?
Oh, yes, Chocolatito. He does it too. Yep. Alexis Arguello taught him that. I'm telling you, good fighters will do it. They'll just twist it a little bit and poke that elbow out just enough. Hope your uppercut hit that elbow. It'll fucking hurt your hand. If it doesn't break it, it'll make you think twice about going to that spot again.
Yeah, tricks of the trade.
Sometimes I wonder about the no boxing, no life gloves, Jamie BDA, because it can also help you punch harder. But if you don't got the protection, like maybe the grants that Triple G wears, and a lot of fighters be wearing the weightings, it's for a reason.
Exactly.
Well, I want to talk about something else too here, real quick. Banks, Golovkin's trainer, he said it himself. He said, look at this quote. He says, Banks on Canelo-Golovkin both fight extremely different today than they did the first two times. And we touched up on a little bit on that, but would you guys agree? Are they really completely different, or is just a little differently?
Yeah, I wouldn't say completely different.
Well, he didn't say that
slow
either.
down in his attack a little, but nothing. He's still, his footwork, his foot spacing is pretty much the same. So I mean,
I don't think Banks is going to probably say that because the first fight was under Abel Sanchez. Now that he took over, he's certainly changed some things, but obviously he's going to say, "Oh, you're going to credit me with GGG doing something differently." He's going to say that just to sound like he is doing his job.
Right, that's a good point. That's a good point. But and you know what? Something about that. Let's talk about the trainers and the corners. First of all, by the way, sorry, I forgot to read two super chat. Shout out to Rafael Garza. Well, it's really one super chat combined. He says, if a Mexican like the late legend Juan Gabriel gets Deontay Wilder pregnant, do you think the offspring will be a good fighter? I tell you what, though, if he does become a fighter, I'm pretty sure he'll be saying that he wants to get pregnant. Nothing will change about that. He would keep saying that. So shout out to Rafael Garza for the interesting question right there. We could do a whole show just on that. Going back to the corners. Listen, Canelo, after he lost to Mayweather, I remember people were saying, he should leave the Reynosos. They didn't tell him anything different. They didn't tell him to adapt, blah, blah, blah. He said, nah, I'm staying with these dudes. Sorry if I keep cracking up, by the way, but I don't know what's going on here. But he said, no, I'm not leaving them. And then he started becoming better. I don't know if it was by himself or if they had played a part, but everything turned out fine. So the Reynosos, even though they might not be working out with everybody else, with Canelo it works out. Meanwhile, Golovkin has Jonathan Banks, who, by the way, I got to give Jonathan Banks credit for the way he shaped Adonis Stevenson up, because Stevenson used to be just a boxer. Just a puncher. And this guy turned him into a bona fide boxer puncher. He really did improve him as a fighter. So I think Jonathan Banks, everyone talks about Sugar Hill from the Kronk school. But Jonathan Banks I think he doesn't get as much credit either, especially as what he did with Klitschko too. Guys, what do you think about that? Who has the advantage here, tactical-wise, from a tactical standpoint, in the corner?
Well, it depends on their relationships with the guys, but I would say, I don't know if I hope the hell he didn't do another fucking big bear training. I hate that shit. I don't know why he stayed with that, what do they call it, height training. I just
high
think
altitude,
high altitude. You waste, by the time they get down there, it's 2 weeks, you know what I mean? It's already, you lost most of the benefit. It just puts too much strain on the body. You get weird nose bleeds and shit. I just think it's too much. But I don't know if that's retrained again. I hope he didn't.
But now,
I think that BDA, that Eddie Reynoso's under a lot of pressure because a lot of his fighters left. Then he lost the Bivol fight because he's the one that told Canelo move up to 78. So his legacy is a little in question, if not a lot. And Jonathan Banks, like you said, he needs to get a little bit more credit because he's gonna notice. So these two trainers gotta prove a point right now. And as far as tactically, man, I've always thought that for a bigger dude, because Triple J ain't small, it's always good to have a bigger trainer that can hold the pads adequately for you. And I think it's the same thing for Reynoso. He's hefty. He can hold the fucking pads. He can be physical with a big round governor bag. So that's good.
Are you being facetious, or are you seriously saying that because he's a fat, so it actually helps with the
it helps. It helps him fucking hold the governor bag and fucking
Well, you know what? I know plenty of overweight people that hold the mitts, and it's not good for the joints, man. Especially whether you're big or not. It's for some of them. It's
Yeah, and Bo Mac looks a little winded when he's holding them. Like labor for fucking hair.
If you're holding pads, hand pads, you're like, I'm not a big guy, but I can hold them for heavyweights because you turn them in, you turn them down a little bit. Dudes who hold them straight up and end up getting punched in the wrist. They're supposed to be put at an angle. You know what I'm saying? So just a lot of guys don't know how to hold pads right.
Some rando in the chat says Reino Fatso. That's gonna be his new nickname around here, Reino Fatso. But yeah,
and if Juan Gabriel got fucking Deontay Wilder pregnant, they will call Juan Gabriel. Wild is like La Loca. Juan Gabriel La Loca.
Because wild people that don't get it, wild in wilder, wild loco means it could be used to describe somebody that's wild. But you know what? I brought up that thing about the corner.
But if he's a gay, it's like loquilla, no. The wild one.
Okay. Sí, cierto, sí, la loca, yeah. But you know what? Listen, Jonathan Banks, when Golovkin was in trouble against Davidchenko and he was breathing heavily, and some people say, well, it's because Golovkin had the flu. I think I heard some YouTubers say that. I forget who he was. I think Jonathan Banks kept him relaxed in that fight. And Reynoso, well, with Canelo, he's been through the ringer. He's been through wars. He's been through fights where he breezes through them. He goes through fights where, it's complicated, like the Lyra fight or the Austin Trial fight. So I think it's going to be good, man. And I think if it goes down to like a second fight where it's an actual fucking tough fight, I don't know who has the advantage, but they're good trainers to have for this fight. That's for sure.
You made a good point. It was on... He does put all his confidence in them. He says Reynoso picks where he's going. That was Reynoso's idea for him to fight Bivol. It wasn't like Canelo's like, oh, I want bring me up to he, like you said, they pick it. They say what's best for me. I let them guide my career. So I don't know if he holds any what the fuck were you thinking? What did you see in me? Think that was a good idea?
Jimmy, you're sounding your volume went down. I think it's you're not plugged correct, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see later. And I'm crackling up here for some reason too, every once in a while. Getting a lot of issues here. I think it's because the buzz for the fight is so high, it's messing with the electronics. Let's go to a phone call here. And don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. 602. You're on the air. 602. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. I love the title of your video.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of things lately, like watching a lot of LDBC.
Oh, boy.
And I've been seeing some of their title videos, and some of their title videos are saying that this fight is dry, man. I think these guys are just jealous. They're jealous that their fighters do no numbers.
Well, you know what? Whose fault is that, do you think?
I want to say it's definitely TBC's fault. If you look at their lineup, they don't really have much, like a lot of slots for their fighters to fight. It's hard to promote a young fighter when you don't have dates. And the only dates they have are pay-per-view dates.
Exactly. Well, you know what? You also got to blame the so-called black boxing fans too. They don't pay for these fights. They don't, it's like, that's why whenever there's a pay-per-view and they don't complain about it, it's because they're not paying for it.
Yeah, it's just it's a dying system, man. The PBC is dying. You really think Showtime's going to continue this? They don't want any part of it. What fights has Al Heyman delivered? He can't even deliver Errol Spence versus Crawford. And the hype for that fight's dying. By the time that gets made, who's going to care about it?
That's right. I mean, HBO got out of there, what is it, 3 years now? 3 years ago? And I think it's taking Showtime a little bit of time to realize that. But they're also pushing a racial agenda. That's what some people are saying, and it's starting to make sense now. That's why they're willing to burn money on the PBC. But ultimately, like you said, I don't know how long it's going to last for. But, hey, caller, do you want to give your prediction for the fight?
Yeah. I have Canelo 10th round TKO.
10th round TKO. Whoa. And what do we call you?
What was that?
What do we call you? What nickname? Because I need to write it down for the prediction.
Leo.
Leo. Oh, Leo. Okay. You're on the
Leo.
Discord, right?
Yeah. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, Leo. Call back next time, man. Take it easy. All right, and let's go to, I think it's Michael Poe on the line here with this long ass distance number. I don't want to keep him on the line too long because it's long distance. Michael, is that you? Michael, can you hear me?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I could hear you. It's a special thing. It's not expensive for me.
Oh, okay, good.
What's going on?
What's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I still, even though I can only use a few minutes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. My prediction is, unfortunately, Canelo. I really don't want to see Triple G get hurt, but I really don't know. Well, after I saw that Bivol fight, I don't trust Triple G to win unless he knocks him out, and he's too old to do that. But anything can happen, and that's my prediction. You could put me down KO, probably later rounds. I can't pick a round.
Now you don't like Canelo, right?
Yeah, but now do you see why after the Bivol fight?
Well, what happened in the
like
Bivol
that,
fight?
I know it may not directly be. You didn't see the scorecards?
Yeah, you disagree then, man.
One more card, it would have been a. Yeah, obviously. And
one judge was really ridiculous.
If you go to Google, no, it's not just that. There were printouts, Jimmy. They never do that. They what it looked like? It looked like they scrambled and they had these on ready because the judges all matched. Every card that night, the judges printed. You print for a reason. These were like print out, like bold-faced copies. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've never seen that before, ever.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen.
And it's not his fault, whatever. But I can't rate somebody when I know he's so protected. You know, they say Triple G fought bums. Well, remember the days back then. The same guys in the top 10, just because the guys now have belts, are not really that much better anyway. But,
yeah, it's hard to. It's gonna be hard for Golovkin to. It's gonna be hard for Golovkin to get the decision because at least Bivol had the flash with his combinations. With Golovkin, it's mostly one shot at a time, so it's easier to give the other guy the benefit of the doubt when it's that type of fight. Because they're both gonna be. It's like the first fight too. It's both guys gonna be throwing one shot at a time. The difference though is Golovkin's jab. That scores a lot, but again, some judges for some reason jabs. Oh no, they are.
Do you want to know what's deceptive to people who aren't judging? When it's a back and forth fight, you tend to think, oh, he said Mexican style. Why do judges care about what's going on in interviews? He circled, and my reason for him circling is Canelo was too fast, but to me, outlanded. And every Mexican ESPN channel I go to, I could read Spanish, but I do a Google Translate. They do not like Canelo when they say the same stuff I'm saying. So it may not be his fault, but he's too protected for me to rate him. But G's 40, and it's his time. So
I think you're gonna be surprised, Michael. I think you're gonna be surprised. I don't think Golovkin. If Canelo stops him, he's gonna have to nail him.
I hope so.
Right.
I'm sorry I haven't been around for a while, but
that's all right. You don't live here, man. You're not obligated to show up. I mean, it's not like you're at work or anything.
Yeah, but it's cheap, dude. I put 10 euros on the phone. I call the States. I can be on for 20 minutes, and it takes like €1.50 off, so it's cheaper than a regular phone.
Well, whenever you have the chance, man, and always appreciate your contribution, and it's always good to have you in the chat as well, man. So.
Hey, real quick, you don't have to tell me. Bucho and Jimmy and everybody, I hope is okay, but I hope Recognize is all right, man. I don't know anything personally. I just hope he's okay.
Recognize again. Everybody keeps asking about him. He's okay. He's extremely busy. He's been in the chat. Apparently, he can't even come into the show. That I do find weird. I told him. I said, "Come on, really? What's going on here?" But anyway, he's around.
Give him a shout out, Poe. Yeah, give him a shout out. He might be listening.
All right,
so
yeah, I recognize. I'd like to see you, man. I miss your knowledge. He's very knowledgeable, and he knows how to hold down a show. When you guys, have to
recognize the
step
balls.
off, he's very, very talented. And so
That's
is
right.
Jimmy and everybody in Bucho. Everybody.
Thank you,
And
Michael.
by the way, Recognize really does need to come back, and it's not because I miss him necessarily; it's because he ose me $20, so he has to come back. All right, Michael, thank you for your.
I can't wait for him to come back. Recognize is great.
Hey, I'll send it to him. But you could put me down for. I'd like to see Triple G, but put me down for Canelo, man.
I got you, man. All right, Michael.
I don't bet money. It's just.
Well, all right, Michael. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate your contributions, man, and I always appreciate your support. Really appreciate it. Call back next time, all right, man? After the fight.
All right. God bless, Jimmy,
You too,
Bucho,
man.
BDA, everybody. Take care, man.
Thank you. Right back at you.
All
man.
right,
Take it easy. All right. And shout out to Michael Poe for his contribution, by the way. I forgot to read it while I was in the wee-wee room. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 386. 386. You're on the air. 386. What's on your mind?
What's up, fellas? Calling from the great state of Florida. How you doing, Mr. BDA?
No, Jackson. Action Jackson. What's up, man?
The free state of Florida.
In a bad mood, dude. Hurricane swell hit the East Coast. Lost a big competition. Close one. Treading hard waves. Just down on myself really bad. But
Those are the best moments, man.
Besides
Those
that,
are the
pretty
best.
good in life. And
Those are the best moments, man. Because then when you
I
turn
don't
back,
know. How are you guys doing? Just looking
Listen.
at the Canelo and Triple G. I hope it brings inspiration to people.
Jackson, those are the best moments, man. When you're down a little bit, because then when you go up, it makes it feel all the better, man.
Yeah, true. And you got to work that much harder. It's just like when you like these boxers, you commit to something, whether it's in the corporate world, business. You dedicate basically your whole life to become the best. You work 8 hours a day, whatever it is, build your business, your sport, and then if you fall short, you really got to keep going. Just like it reminds me like what happened to Triple G. He obviously dominated this fucking redhead twice, and and when they interviewed him, he's like, my understanding of boxing is, I won that fight. Maybe not the Derevyanchenko fight, but he won that fight.
Go ahead, man.
You guys know? Do you know what the message I'm trying to say is? Like, he works his whole life. Like, he has two older brothers that died in the military,
right?
Because whatever country he's in, and he's got a rough story, and it's very inspirational because he should have got those 2 W's, but boxing is such a capitalistic nightmare. It's not always a sport.
I know, man, but listen, this fight, the A side is not always protected. There comes a point too where the A side becomes too big for the business, and they got to take him down a peg. Pacquiao lost twice in 1 year in 2012. It wouldn't be inconceivable to see.
And maybe that was BDA. Maybe that was because he was the A side. When you're such a big money guy, there needs to be a corporate takeover, a corporate merger. I mean, Pacquiao might have been getting too big. I know Floyd. I mean, that's why Floyd always fought people that had a country behind him, because he would get their whole market too. And Pacquiao did it the right way, and I think Triple G is an all-time great and is insanely underrated. I think he would beat basically any middleweight, and it's just a shame that he's getting dog-walked by this fucking Mexican. Nothing against Mexico. I'm actually just had a burrito, but they're good
okay,
people.
that makes it better then, yeah.
And no, but it's heartbreaking because he deserves to win those 2 fights. But like Roy Jones Jr. is like, I'm gonna give it to Canelo because he came forward. Like, well, Roy, you never came forward. When you change y'all must have forgot. You must have changed your scoring criteria. Like that shit pisses me off. But like, I think Triple G is the model you look at in life. You work hard as fuck, you achieve your goals, and you be the best, and you don't settle for less. You get
And
back
by the
out
way,
there.
I agree, man. Hard work does pay off, and it also pays off. It gives you certain privileges because, like, for example, before during a private conversation I was having with Jimmy, who's Italian, I called him a no good greaseball, but then I had a slice of pizza, so that makes it all right, man.
Yeah,
Well,
it really made me feel better.
Guy, and he understands.
BDA, you can ask Jackson what competition he competes that he lost in.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Oh, first of all, okay. Before we do that, before we get to that, Jackson. So, what's your official prediction?
Triple G knockout.
Oh, you want to go with a round or
Fucking sparks him.
sparks him? Okay, I'm gonna write down that word, sparks, just for colorful language. And which round? Any round in
Put
specific?
some bad like Old Yeller, or put them down. Round 9. Round 9.
Round 9. All right, round 9. Gonzalo, go ahead. What do you want to ask him?
Put them down.
Yeah, because he said that there was like a thunderstorm, like then he lost some competitions, and I always thought he was like a surfer.
Yeah, Gonzalo.
I was just wondering what it
your
was.
name wrong. You're the man. Surfing some hurricane swells off the coast of Florida. Things. I got caught in a big wave early on, and it put like fear into me, and I was like overhead waves, and I was really scared to surf the rest of the day. I got slammed so hard, and I'm working with a new company, and I can't really balance my life in surfing and work, so I kind of have to pick one, and Triple G is just an inspiration to me.
There you go.
I didn't know you were a surfer, Jackson. That's fucking awesome. I watch surfing videos and competitions all the
Jimmy,
time.
isn't
I
that
love
a weird
that sport.
combo? Hockey and surfing and boxing.
Right?
And eating
The
burritos.
Mavericks, guys who do the Mavericks to go off the coast of Portugal, those big wave dudes, insane.
All right,
I
well,
love that movie with Keanu Reeves, the 50-year storms, and then Bells Beach, Australia. Point Break.
Yeah, we're gonna start calling. Jackson break. What was it called? Breaking point? No, point break. Point break. We're gonna start calling that.
Yeah, we're the presidents in the mask, rubbing the base.
All right, well, listen, Jackson.
Nah,
Always
just
good.
call me whatever. But I love talking to you guys. B-Day, I'm here. You guys need a backup panelist because sometimes I worry about you.
Absolutely, man. Well, I worry about you too, man. Fucking eating burritos and then going to surf. That's not good, man. It's not good to go surfing with a full stomach.
I mean, you need to speed your metabolism up, but you're a funny guy, So.
But funny how? What are you talking about? All right, well, listen, Jackson.
All love, and I'll keep listening. Triple G all the way.
All right, there you go, man. Thank you for your call, Jackson. Always appreciate it. Take it easy, man.
Oh!
All right, there we go.
Hey, BDA, that was a fucking classic. Look, nothing against Mexicans. I just ate a burrito.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Hey, man.
I couldn't believe I thought like he had been joking, right?
No, I don't think so. If he was genius. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. 917, you're on the air. 917, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, forget about it, man. Forget about it. Triple G is going to put this guy in some lucky stick, man. He's going to cook him with a salad tzatziki, man.
There you
knock
go,
him right out.
That's right.
And for dessert, he's going to have his wife, like a plate of lucumadas.
Oh, come on. You're going a little too far, my friend. A little bit too far. What's up, man?
Hey, come on, man. It's the truth. He's going to knock this guy out, put him on some lucky stick, and the story.
End of story. Are you Greek, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So, what's your prediction? Triple G is going to put Canelo in a souvlaki stick, right?
He's going to put him on the grill, make it zaro. It's going to be real easy. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it. Stop saying that I'm worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Do I sound worried to you?
Hey, you sound a little scared to me, man. Come on.
Nah, I'm not scared, man. I'm not scared. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, man.
I'm just kidding, bro.
I thought he meant it like the way Italians say, forget about it.
No, yeah. Caller. I know you're kidding. We're just busting balls. That's all. No need to get out of hand. But so, okay, Golovkin, you say...
Well,
you want to be a little bit...
Triple G by knockout. Watch. He's going to knock this fucking burrito right out.
This what? Caller, you still there? I think he fell in the fucking that thing there, where you put the meat there for the souvlakis. You put. Oh shit, he hung up. All right, he said burrito. Okay, he's gonna eat him like a burrito. I gotta tell you, I'm Mexican. I like tacos. I don't like burritos. I'd rather eat a souvlaki than a fucking burrito. But a taco, especially a fried one, some lettuce, onions, a little sauce, green sauce. That's good eating.
I'm with you there, man. Not a big fucking burrito guy. That shit looks like something you fucking explode all over the bowl.
Gonzalo, oh jeez, Gonzalo, is that as a burrito? Okay. That's more like Tex-Mex, right?
But that's more of no. They also eat like burritos in Mexico. They'll make them like the bistec ranchero or like beans with queso cotija, tortilla. It's good, but the American style burritos, yeah, the big ass burritos with all kinds of ingredients. That's in the sour cream. That's not usually well. There's Mexican sour cream, but not on a burrito like that. That's more of an American thing. Tacos made out of corn, homemade tortillas.
Yeah, it's got to be corn tortillas. Yeah, we're not in the Middle East here. But did you ever eat
I'm right with you guys on that.
Well, there you go, man. It's turning into the BDA food hour. I wanted to mention something here. I got a lot of predictions, by the way. Let me just recheck here. Bucho said Canelo. Oh, we got to take our predictions, by the way. Let's do it right now. Let's start with the main panel here. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I gave mine already, but I'll just reiterate it. I said that I think since Canelo got the second fight, I know the first fight was a draw. I think that even if Canelo wins it like convincingly, just by a little in a close fight, they're gonna give it to Triple G by split decision. So I think Bucho rolled me down by robbery. That's okay. Yeah. So in other words, it's like Morales when he fought Barrera. I thought Barrera deserved to win the first fight, but they gave it to Morales. Then they did the opposite thing in the second fight to compensate.
That's the thing. That's how they can happen sometimes. The A side can get shafted. That's a good example right there. Jimmy, prediction time.
Yeah, I'm going with the guy who gets his arm raised.
That's a good prediction. That's the best one I've heard so far. Come on, man.
No, God damn, man! I'm fucking.
All right,
I've
you're overthinking.
Him getting knocked out. I'm right now. I'm leaning towards a tough, hard 12 rounds. It just fucking Triple G by the end might not have enough left where it might push Canelo over the edge. You know what I mean? It'll be like it'll be the continuation of him just getting older, and there's a reason we waited 3 years. I mean, that would be like the safe bet. But I'm getting sick of doing the safe bet, man. So I don't know. Give me until Friday. I'll really fucking come through because I might go fucking goofy on you and pick Triple G.
Gonzalo, what do you think about this? About Jimmy not wanting to give a prediction right now? Call him out on it. Please.
Well, I mean, he's done it. He's done it in the past, and a lot of times he's nailed it at the very end. Like with Better BF and Glowacki, whatever the guy's name is, Bostic. I mean, yeah, he got it in the 10th round for Better BF, and he waited till like the last minute. So, I mean, it's up to him.
A lot of times I like to look at the weigh-in. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, just see how fresh they look on the weigh-in. But that really shouldn't be a problem this time. But I'm honestly looking to see how vascular looking Triple G is at 168.
Wait a minute.
That's what?
That's the gypsy boxing thing that he always wants to see the weigh-in before.
You're breaking up.
I said that's the gypsy boxing. That's what he always used to do. He always wants to see the weigh-in before he actually makes a pick.
Well, to me, it does make a lot. Are they dry? Are they fucking look like, you know what I mean? But these are both pros. I mean, they both did done this so many times and taken off the weight. Like, you could always tell that kid who's trained by Robert Garcia, the one who got slaughtered at the end of his career, Brian Rios. Man, like the weigh-ins at the end of his career, dude looked ashy gray from all the nutrients sucked out of his body because he took all his weight off in a sauna. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and, he looked dead, man.
So you could just tell. But that isn't an issue with these guys. It's just see how vascular he looks and how. But I'm obviously right now. I'm still leaning kind of towards just because if Triple G beat him that bad in the first fight. And it was a draw. You know what I mean? I don't see him beating him worse than he did then. Put it that way. So I don't know, but I really do want to see them. But I'm probably going to be leaning with a close fucking fight, majority draw Canelo.
Well, do you want me to write it down?
But I could change that to a Triple G pick.
Yeah, okay. I'm not.
No, don't write it down yet. But right now, majority draw Canelo. But I might change that after I see them in the weigh-in.
All right, I got Canelo. I got Canelo by highly competitive decision, highly competitive fight. Actually, it's gonna be very competitive. I don't see a knockout, but then again, I have been surprised before. So I get, but I'm going with the safe one, which is Canelo competitive decision. It's going to be a harder fight than expected. In fact, I do expect I might not even do the show. I might not even host the show because we're going to get an influx of phone calls, and Butcher's better at that. So maybe I'll get Butcher to host it. By the way, shout out to Plutonium Loach for his contribution with the super chat. He says, maybe if the zone accepts EBT, then the LDBC would purchase the fight. Oh, come on. Everyone's saying the same thing, man. This is the second person, I think, who said that. And then he says, this caller, talking about Jackson, I think, this caller sounds like Walter White's son from Breaking Bad, Mongolo. Ah, come on. Did he have a son named Mongolo? Or what's he talking about? Because I've never seen the show, so... Well, maybe someone who's seen the show can tell us, but I've never seen it.
I don't remember that.
All right. So shout out to Plutonium Loach for that. Going back to the fight itself. So, yeah, man, I mean... Oh, let me ask Gonzalo who made the pick. Gonzalo, how confident are you in your pick?
I'm fairly confident. I'm fairly confident because that would be an injustice that Triple G gets fucked over like 3 times. Because I thought the first fight, obviously, and I keep having, like, I get tired of going back, and probably the people that are listening and you guys too, because it gets brought up all the time. Yeah, it was a draw. Triple G deserved to win its second fight. When the stakes are this high, yeah, Triple G probably also deserved to get it, but he didn't. Now you can make it all right. You can rewrite the wrongs because it'll affect Triple G's standing. A lot of people don't think he's really that good, that he's overrated. Some of us really don't believe that, but how can you make that right now? By giving him his just due credit. In a close fucking fight, give him the nod. They've done it to other fighters that didn't deserve it, like Timothy Bradley against fucking Pacquiao when he didn't deserve it. I can keep on going, but yeah, that's what I believe. And if he gets fucked over, that's pretty like bad. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I said before the Bivol fight. What's that?
No fucking Vaseline?
I mean, listen, that's what I said before the Bivol fight. I said, look, if Bivol beats him and they don't give it to him, it's actually going to hurt Canelo's image more than if he loses straight up. Because you can't get too many A-side decisions going for you or too much privilege that it's such a display of privilege to the fans, because then they're going to get really pissed off. And listen, Mexican fans were actually heckling Canelo in Mexico. When you going to fight Triple G? When you going to fight Triple G? And he got to him. He finally fought him. So Mexican fans will put pressure on the guy. So if they see a guy that keeps getting robbery after robbery or privilege after privilege, eventually they're going to go, man, fuck this guy.
And to be honest, like we said earlier, man, we touched on it. A close fight is almost as bad as a loss for him as far as his haters and detractors are concerned. But even his fans can be like, damn, you know, all things considered, you should have put him out this time, or at least put at least a one-sided beating on him. But if he comes out with a squeaky fucking decision or a majority decision win, it's 40-year-old Triple G, everybody's going to say, oh, he's slowing down. That's why he doesn't want nothing to do with fucking Charlo or Benavidez. And, you know, all the shit will be said.
Well, listen, yeah.
Go ahead, Rudy.
I was just going to say the phone lines are closed, but if anybody wants to call in outside of North America via the StreamYard, I put a StreamYard link. But go ahead, Gonzalo, yes.
Yes, look, watch, okay, Triple G got the chin and the power, but a lot of people are not considering this. Yes, age is important. It's a big factor. But when you think about Canelo, he's a great fighter all across the board, but the one category that he's probably missing, well, for sure, it's stamina. So if Canelo's stamina is not that great, doesn't that kind of equal the doesn't that kind of balance the powers in regards of like the age versus the low stamina?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stamina, and I'm telling you, a lot of that stamina has to do with because he didn't grow out. He had to grow out, not in height. So when you're moving up in weight to that from 147, still pitches how much more muscular he is. That just takes a lot more oxygen to pump through that. But the thing is, every time he fights at these heavy weights, the more his body's going to get accustomed to it. Another thing too, historically, when you come back down in weight, you don't usually do as good. Historically speaking, this is different though, because in actuality, he shouldn't have went back. He shouldn't have went to 175. I don't think it was a wise decision. Right. And then I said that right at the beginning.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man.
When Canelo, when he implements his defense I got a delay.
Wicked delay, today.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
When he implements his defense, one thing that he's improved, like the maturity, that he keeps calm and he doesn't get all like excited, so therefore he can keep his eyes open and read the opponent's movement, so he's able to anticipate, block, and have that great defense. So he kind of keeps it together. When you pressure him, that takes a lot out of him. Oh, it's the Canelo when he chases the fucking runners, he struggles. No, it's when you put the pressure on him. So Triple G just by being a fucking tank, that's a lot of mental pressure. Like I said, if he can't hurt Triple G, just knowing that you can't butt steal the motherfucker, it's gotta be like really like mentally dissuading. It takes away from your confidence. And the fact that you gotta block them fucking heavy punches means that you can't go for fucking broke. And then if you throw double amount of the punches, like say for example, I'm exaggerating, but let's say Canelo throws 400 and in the first fucking round he throws 60. Well, maybe he's gotta take the second round off. But he's still got to be concerned about blocking. He's still got to be concerned about not taking a beating. But he fucking went for broke and he couldn't get Triple G out of there. So the more the round goes and Canelo's not able to get Triple G out of there, and the more punches he throws and the less amount of gas he has in his tank, he's got to be concerned about defending himself. So that's one of those things. I don't think there's a knockout, man.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah, that's a good point. But then again, we have been surprised before. All right, I got the StreamYard open here. We got Mirage who wants to give his prediction, I believe. Hold on a second. Is this work? Yo, can you hear me? Mirage, are you there? The fuck is not working? Hold on.
I'm here.
Mirage, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I just heard him.
Yeah, okay, because it's fucking, this thing's fucking up. All right, Mirage, what's your prediction?
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. What's happening? Well, let's get to that. We'll get to that eventually. So the first thing I want to know, BDA, is why am I calling in and not on your main panel in the first place? That's what I want to know, because I think I deserve a spot up there.
Yeah, well, I completely disagree, and so does the board of directors, man. But hey, you never know, man. Click your Hill Street Times.
Well, I think all my fans will disagree, to be honest with you. But we can move on from there.
Name your fans. I'm curious who your fans are, man.
I don't want to. No need to name them. Don't know who they are. But anyway,
come on, brag a little bit. Brag a little bit.
Serious boxing talk.
All right, there you
go. Yes, boxing. Real talk as well. Real talk. So, I've been sitting back here listening to your callers. What I've been noticing is all these fucking Monday morning quarterbacks suddenly appearing. They're suddenly coming up and saying, "Oh, do you notice Canelo in the last few years he's become one-dimensional? You know, he's loading up on his punches, blah, blah, blah." Well, no shit, Sherlock. People who know boxing have been saying this for the last 2 years. Now that he got his ears boxed off, all of a sudden, all these geniuses, they notice all these flaws in the cash cow, in the fucking pound for pound king. So all these guys now that are pretending they know boxing, they're a fucking joke. Okay? That's how it is. This has been
They should start watching.
For a long time.
They should watch boxing on and off for 20 years, like you, man. I think that's the trick right there. But yeah, go ahead. So, yeah.
Well, what do you think of
Watching
Ring Magazine
and
going all 20 picking him
completely different things.
Ah, shit.
So I'm glad they finally
picking
caught up
Triple G.
Been saying for 2 years. Better late than never. Better late than never.
That's
so
right.
Canelo is not all that. He never was all that. That's the bottom line. So now, back to this the fight on the weekend. I'm looking forward to this, definitely. I think it's going to be reminiscent of the first two fights, to be honest with you. It's going to be a very cludges. They favour the cash cow. They're going to give Canelo the decision regardless, so that's obvious. But if knock out Triple G. When was the last elite fighter or A-level fighter that Canelo stopped? I mean, he doesn't stop these top quality fighters. Very, very rarely. I mean, he stopped a shot Kovalev. That's about it. So,
but wait a minute. You say you've been complaining. You've been complaining that Golovkin's old. He's past it. Shouldn't he be able to knock out an old washed-up Golovkin? Just like an old washed-up Kovalev.
If he was really that good, he would. But he's not that good. That's the whole point.
I mean, he did it to a washed-up Kovalev. He did it to a washed-up Kovalev. He did it to a washed-up. He did it to a washed-up Kovalev. He can't do it to a washed-up Golovkin.
Well, Kovalev was like really. He didn't get like TKO'd a couple fights earlier.
I think
he
someone
was
is
not,
starting
he
to
never
give,
had the chin.
I think someone's starting to give Golovkin a little credit here. I think that's what's going on here. Go ahead, Mirage.
No,
Give Golovkin's credit.
Yeah, Golovkin's fucking tough. I'll give him credit. He's fucking tough. Yeah, so for Canelo to knock him out, I'm going to be impressed. If Canelo stops even a 40-year-old Triple G, I'm going to give him credit officially. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think Jimmy mentioned, like, if this is a close fight, all the Canelo haters, they're going to tear him apart. And I have to say, that's fucking true. I'm going to be first in line to tear that fucking motherfucker apart if he has a close competitive fight with a 40-year-old middleweight. That's not fucking good enough. He's supposed to be an all-time great. He's supposed to be the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. He should be able to fucking put away this middleweight. So I'm going to be waiting with anticipation.
Who says he's the greatest Mexican fighter of all?
We're all saying that. Okay, now that he lost, now that he got his ears boxed off, all of a sudden it changes. Now people are suddenly geniuses. Now he's not that good. Now he has flaws. But before Bivol, they were pumping him up. I was talking to morons who were saying he's going to fucking be competitive with Usyk. This is how crazy everybody was.
Yeah, but Mirage, when you're having conversations with yourself in the mirror because you haven't taken your meds, that's not a real conversation, man. That's not a real. You can use that as proof for, hey, man, I talked to these boxers. No. But anyway, hold on. Like, we got to move on because we got this shit's fucking up too in the first place.
Okay.
I think all of us did.
I'm breaking up. I don't know if it's just you guys, but anyway. So official prediction.
Yeah, you
Mirage,
are breaking up. You are a little bit.
Yeah. So official prediction, man.
Official prediction. Canelo close decision by virtue of biased judges. Yeah.
Okay. So you do. So you were expecting him to look bad then.
I'm expecting Canelo to look. I mean, he's going to look mediocre. In context of his opponent, it's going to be competitive as a 40-year-old middleweight. Yeah. So.
So you're saying he would, with good judges, with fair judging, you think he'd lose? Is that what you're saying?
Possibly, yeah, but that's not an option. But yeah, it's going to be very close, controversial decision. Close, controversial.
Super Anderson Aldo in the chats. Super Anderson Aldo in the chat says Mirage prediction: Benavides by KO. Yeah, that sounds like something. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting you to come in and start talking about Benavides. But hey, listen, I got your prediction. We gotta go because this shit's breaking up, man. But call back after the show, right, man?
It's been fun. Okay.
All right, take it easy, man.
Take it easy, gentlemen. Bye.
I don't know what's going on with the fucking StreamYard, man. It's fucking up. Well, it's not just StreamYard. It's my connection. It's fucking up. Even the phone calls there was a big delay there, so I couldn't keep going with the banter.
Yeah, he was breaking up real bad.
Oh, really? Okay, so
you know what sucks about tonight too for me, dude?
What's that?
Whole 4-second delay.
I know, man. It's a fuck. That's insane. Very, very, very bad. Very bad. It's not good. Not good at all. Actually, I'm gonna have to close the StreamYard now.
Crazy. I'm like, yeah.
Look at that. We're breaking up again. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to go real quick. Shout out to I Am Your Leader for his rejoining the BD membership program, extending it. This LDBC won't mention how old Hellenius is. How old is Hellenius? Anybody know? Anybody know where Bobby Blue is? All right, hold on a second.
He's pretty old, though.
Is he like 37 too, or 35, somewhere around there? I thought he's a little younger than Wilder, maybe. I don't know.
He's 38.
To be honest with you, I don't give a fuck.
He's
38. About that fight. The fight's a joke.
Bro, he's 38.
38. There you go.
I thought he was 36 or something at the most. 38. Whoa. Yeah, why aren't they fucking talking about that?
A 38-year-old who got stopped by Gerald Washington.
Oh my goodness, who's gonna buy that piece of shit?
Think about that, dude.
That's the fight they're excited about? Oh, hey, Golovkin's 100 years old, but Kalanius, man, that's the fight I want to watch, baby. That's the fight. That's where it's at, motherfuckers. Oh my God, disgusting. I can't keep up with these people. They're insane. And some people can say, whoa, bro. What do you mean by these people? Who are those people? I'm talking about the ghetto-ass Nimrods. Who else do you think I'm talking about? I've been saying it since the beginning of the show. Try to keep up, will you? All right, we do have to go. I wish we could stay on board more, but the connection here is fucking up. So, last comments before we leave?
I just want to say to fucking Jackson, who I like, and I'm really curious. Hope he has some video. I want to see him surfing. But that was a classic line. We got to make sure to save that as a fucking feed. I got nothing against Mexicans. Hey, I just ate a burrito. That was fucking. So that was like Archie Bunker gold right there. You know what I mean?
He's a genius. He's a genius, man. Let me tell you. Yeah, we got to go. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody who called in. Everybody donated the super chat. Everybody that gave their predictions. And yeah, man. Hey, listen. I gave my prediction because I know people go, what about BDA? I gave my prediction. I think Canelo, very competitive fight. I think it's going to be highly competitive. Too competitive for some people. And you're going to see people give me shit for it. It's not going to be a good year for Canelo. I'll put it that way. But it was going to be a good year for boxing fans because we're going to get a good fight.
So that means you think he's a bum?
That's exactly what I'm saying. No, but listen, it's going to be a good fight, man. I think it's going. I'm pumped for it. And then we got an undercard. We haven't even given the undercard any attention really during this podcast. But I mean, it's a. Let me just go scroll down and give you guys the. Okay, so we got Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Is it any good?
It's Jesse Bam Rodriguez taking on Israel Gonzalez, and then we've got Ali Akhmedov, who used to be one of those shining Eastern European prospects who lost. Now he's taking on Gabriel Rosado, who's also coming off a loss. I think that's one's going to be an underrated little war. Those two fights alone, man, I'm looking forward to them. And then, of course,
what weight class is that?
That's a super middleweight.
That's yes. Ali Akhmedov lost to Gongora.
Yeah, Gongora.
So that Bam Rodriguez, that's right. He's fighting again. That's crazy. I hope he does real well, man. That'd be great if he does fight again in December, man. I'm telling you, that's a future Mexican boxing right there.
And you know, the interesting thing about it is, I remember when Mayweather used to fight, and you were going through a horrible undercard, and then you're like, oh fuck, well, we got the main event. Hopefully it's good. And most of the time it wasn't. With Canelo, with Pacquiao, with those guys, you're watching the undercard, and then you're going, oh, we still got the main event, and you're rubbing your hands together because you know it's probably going to be, at least there's going to be some contact there. So I'm looking forward to this one, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for Saturday.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? So I got to say, since we talked about the LDBC earlier, did you notice when a lot of the hate started coming towards Bam, there was a lot of like insults and some other things said, they didn't cover his fights. It was right after he said on video that he studies Lomachenko.
No, it wasn't just that, Jimmy. I don't think, but I think it was.
He puts his style after Lomachenko, and that's all it took for their hatred to begin.
You know what? That could be part of it, but I'm not sure. I just think they don't cover anything that's non-black. If it ain't black, it's whack for them. I mean, look, they didn't cover the Inoue fight. They didn't cover the Beterbiev fight. They barely covered No, they didn't cover the Jesse Bam Rodriguez. It's all documented. We've talked about it on the show. And that's when we get a couple of callers going, well, okay, they didn't cover the fight, but what about you? You don't like black fighters. Like, that old shtick, you got to come out with something better than that, man. We love everybody, except, we love certain people more than others. How about that?
It's a Mexican holiday. People are happy. I mean, these guys are miserable, but really, the entire world, or the people that are Mexican or live in an area where there's Mexicans, it's a celebration, man. For me, it gives me a reason to live. Fucking. No. What is it? Not a reason to live. I'm excited for the fucking fight.
You're saying what you're saying is that when you're gonna wake up on that day, you're gonna have something to look forward to, something special.
Yes, exactly.
Can I just say too, when I hear people say like, oh, they start coming out, well, there's Mexican channels and these Mexicans guys saying this. Let's make a difference though. There's no Mexican group has 17 by their own admission, 17,000 negative videos made about them. That's what Kevin Nash said. He said, there's over 17,000 negative videos made about the LDBC. So much hate we get. And I would say, how about a little self-reflection? Maybe you'd say, Jesus, why is that? But they should just kind of keep it let's keep it 100. If it wasn't for Mexicans, the sport wouldn't even be anymore. It wouldn't even exist. And that's that's keeping it 100.
They're very jealous
keeping
and
the sport alive in North America.
They're very jealous and envious.
Oh, yeah, and BDA, just real quick, sorry, not a reason it makes me feel like I'm alive.
Well,
Like the blood is coursing through my veins. I'm fucking excited.
Well, listen.
That's a good fight. Sorry.
Listen, whenever you got one of those big fights, all of a sudden, if you got some chores to do or something that you normally wouldn't want to do, now all of a sudden you do it because you're like, hey, I get the fight coming up on Saturday. So it's always good to have those little things every other week to keep you up, to keep your spirits up. So I'm looking forward to the fight. Those people that are envious of a Mexican being the face of boxing, guess what? It doesn't last forever. Maybe next generation is going to be a black guy. Or maybe it's going to be both. Maybe it's going to be a black
Mr.
guy and a
BDA,
Mexican. Yes.
I just wanted to say, too, think about this. 3 Wilder Fury fights. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Triple G and Canelo are about to have their third fight, and they still haven't got the first one between Crawford and Spence. And let's be honest, and I'm going to say it straight up, that fight hit its peak in 2018, 2019 tops.
That's right. Yeah.
As far as physical abilities. They're both on the downslide. Crawford's 35 years old. He hasn't fought in a year. He'll be a year in October.
That's
now
ridiculous.
He's gotten to the point where if I was his people, I'd be like, dude, now you have to have a fucking fight before you even fight him.
Exactly.
Too much time has gone by.
Yeah, why does he look, listen, if he doesn't fight Crawford, Spence, because supposedly if you would ask Crawford, hey, why isn't the Spence fight happening? He would probably blame it on Spence. So if he's blaming it on Spence, why wouldn't he say, okay, fuck Spence, I'll take another fight? Because he's got no representation.
Both surprisingly quiet. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, some people are saying that they're going to announce the fight pretty soon. And look. My fingers are crossed, man. My fingers are crossed and my skin is shaved because I've been waiting for this fight for so long. But guess what? I'm not banking on it to happen. There's plenty of other good fights out there so that if this one doesn't happen, I'm not going to be like, oh, no. It is what it is. Doesn't happen. Fuck those two guys.
And I tell you something, I don't have any proof of this. I'm just telling you the way those motherfuckers move over there, Al Heyman. I guarantee you it's been said to fucking Crawford, you want this fight to happen, keep your mouth shut. Don't badmouth the experience. Don't badmouth the fucking, saying shit like, oh, it's the... Because why isn't Crawford like on his fucking Twitter account going, what the fuck? This is what I want. The silence is sketchy.
People are starting to realize how difficult it is to do business with the PBC. And part of why it's so difficult to do business with them is because they're incompetent. This fucking Al Heyman, he doesn't want to delegate any power. He wants to do everything himself. The only thing he doesn't want to do, is because he can't do it, because he has to have a promoter's license, is to give all these ancillary promoters like Lou DiBella and all these guys, do this for me. You're legally, you're the promoter. You're on paper. That's all. But technically, he wants to call all the shots, and he's not equipped to do that. That's why he convinced enough people to give him money to put these fights. And NBC and CBS and all these other networks, yeah, sure, we'll take your money. We won't give you any support.
He's a fucking music guy.
Exactly. So, hey, listen, good for him.
Music.
Good for him. A good hustler. He was able to hustle so much money out of these people, and now I believe he's in a lawsuit, according to what Jimmy's been saying. But listen, good for him. He took his percentage out of all these fighters in this past 7 years. But in terms of the fans, of getting good, consistent boxing fights, don't expect much from them. That's all I'm saying.
Is that what you call a Ponzi scheme, BDA Jimmy, when you cover another hole and then you open up another one by getting dirt from here to cover the new hole?
Yeah, exactly. That's what a Ponzi scheme. You take investors' money and you pay back their investment with new investor money. That's how Ponzi schemes always collapse, because eventually you can't take in enough money to cover the fucking thing and it all comes apart. But as long as you keep on getting investor money, his was just a straight up. My thing is this: there's $750 million was gone. It said in court by his attorney, said in court that he had less than, I believe at the time, $80 million in working capital. But that was money was invested to him and was supposed to be for a 5-year working plan. Okay, so within the 2 years, they pretty much all the money was gone. My point is, you saw what was going on then. The fights that were happening, Keith Thurman against Guerrero, whatever. Where the fuck did all that money go? $500 million at a minimum to $750 million in 2 years. Did we see anywhere near that kind of fucking fighting?
That's insane.
Or that level of, where did that money go?
Insane. And listen. They came out with some good fights. Like, we did see Thurman fight Porter and Garcia and all that. But how many of those later on were on pay-per-view? Like every Spence fight's on pay-per-view, even the fucking Mikey Garcia fight. So, how long did we have to wait for the good?
That was after the fucking. That was after we went to court, though.
Right. But what I'm saying,
2.5 years. I mean, I'm sorry, Thurman.
I know,
Garcia,
Jimmy. I know, but what I'm saying, Jimmy, I know, but what I'm saying is, regardless of the time or when it happened, they for every good fight they gave us, which most of the time was on pay-per-view, we had to take about 4 or 5 crap fights, or 4 or 5 crap events. So listen. More boxing for me as a boxing fan. I love it, but I gotta call it like I see it. It's a badly run company, and it's a miracle that they've been afloat for almost 10 years. But we'll see how long that lasts for. Jimmy, your prediction was next year they probably won't be around, right?
Yeah, I see it. Unless, I mean, especially now, I'm gonna try to find that thing that Showtime. They're really seriously talking about just folding everything into Paramount Plus. What's that going to do for boxing? It's going to get rid of that. They're not going to have like that type of thing. It's going to be an app. The thing that they hate more than anything, right? That fan base, apps to them that's the Antichrist. So,
and I want to say something about that too, about boxing. It's not a respected sport amongst network execs. I don't know if that's still the way. That's the way it used to be, according to what I read in Ring Magazine in the 90s and 2000s. A lot of these network execs, somebody every once in a while would float the idea, hey, what about boxing, bringing boxing back on network TV? And these people would go, wow.
Well, Mr. BDA.
Yeah.
Think about it. Would you be, if you're just an executive, you're not into boxing, you're just about crunching numbers, but you hear things, right? You just hear things. And the biggest fight since 2015 was Triple G Canelo, that first one. And it was a straight robbery. And everybody reported it that way. It's just another black eye of the sport. It gets the sport it just gives everybody what they really think. The shit's run by dirty motherfuckers. It's not in the up and up. I don't want to get involved in that shit. Jimmy Cannon back in 1961 wrote, boxing is the fucking red light sport. I mean, it's the sport of it's a red light district sport. I mean, it's always been that way. But now it's because things are just different, and I think that doesn't help the robberies and not having one commission to deal with and everything's sketchy. It scares people away, and it should.
I've told the story before, the anecdote from what's his name? Shit, what's the guy's Ivan Goldman, who said that he knew a guy from Hollywood who decided to go into boxing. He wanted to represent some fighters. This was a Hollywood guy, by the way, Hollywood exec. Goes to boxing for a while. He came back out from that. He goes, man, these guys in boxing, they make Hollywood people look like choir boys. And that's a Hollywood guy. There were a bunch of snakes over there in Hollywood. And he's telling you boxing is full of sharks. What does that tell you? An experienced, probably sociopathic guy like that couldn't hang with the boxing dudes.
The most powerful man, BDA, the most powerful man in boxing from 1965 through like the early 80s, or might be off a little on the time thing. He ran MSG, right? And he had Allsay who went through there. Again, the most powerful, you just look it up, connections say most powerful mob. He was a full-on made member of the Gambino crime family. He was the biggest, you know what I mean? So It's been run by the mob forever. And I will die on this square. It was better when the mob ran it. Absolutely better, because they were determined. Their fights were made by who will bet the most, and what brings out the best, the biggest gambling and the best fights is competitive fights. People don't go when it's 17-1 odds. Imagine what the mafia would have said to that. What the fuck good is that? Nobody's gonna be laying any money down. It's just so. It's all gone to shit.
But going back to the executive thing, going back to the executive thing, they don't respect boxing all that much. So anybody that thinks that it doesn't look good for Showtime that the CBS company or whatever would move to Paramount, the Paramount app, because they might look whenever they do this type of merger, sometimes the first thing they do is, okay, when can we cost cuts? What can we cut? When could we trim?
Exactly.
And what are the first thing? In fact, the Olympics, I think boxing is done for. I think the next Olympic Games, it's over. No more boxing. No more wrestling, no more boxing.
That's crazy.
So there you go. So anytime we get into harsh times, it's time to trim the fat, and boxing is included.
And look at the numbers, bro. Did you hear about Ruiz Ortiz? That thing did under 40,000 pay-per-views.
My goodness gracious.
Under 40,000, it was reported by Glacier and a couple other people. And then one of the last fights on Showtime, I mean, they look at the executives. They only care about numbers and results. One of the fights recently was 280,000 peak. That's horrendous
Was
for,
it the Danny
for a
Garcia
cable
fight?
company that reaches approximately 35 million homes. So out of 35 million homes, you only got fucking 280,000 people to fucking tune in.
I think that was the Danny Garcia fight that you
Not
talked
good.
about, I think.
Yes, horrendous numbers, and they don't give a fuck who. They don't know anybody's name. They just look at the numbers and they say, "Wait a minute, we're being beat out in ratings in a fucking key demo by fucking reruns of Square Bob, fucking SpongeBob Pants, whatever his name is. Like it's just horrendous."
It's a shame because, and by the way, another company that's out of boxing, Triller. They're done with putting on boxing events. They couldn't hack it. It takes experience, man, to hold these boxing events. And it's not just holding the event itself, it's the build-up to the event. You got to deal with fighters, the contracts. All of a sudden, a fighter, like just look at the Conor Ben, Chris Eubank situation. All of a sudden, Chris Eubank Sr. is like, I don't want my son to fight because, it's a weight issue. And it's like, all right, fine. So now how do they solve it? Now, apparently they solved it. So that's that's something that these promoters have to have experience with. These fucking people who just get into it for the first time, they think, I got millions of dollars. I can put it together. Yeah, well, what happens when a fighter all of a sudden goes missing? And you can find him, or you find him in a motel and he's got, a dead hooker next to him and an 8-ball next to him. What do you do then? Can you bring up a replacement fighter? Do you even know any replacement fighters? Like, it's all I'm saying is complicated business. And you need experienced guys to do it. So, and certainly the Al Heyman is not that guy. Anyway, what was I going to say?
So I was going to ask you. So Steve Kim and the 3 knockdown rule, is that still on Triller anymore?
I hope so. In fact, somebody said that on the Twitter. I read I was checking out Steve Kim's Twitter. Somebody said was the next they said something on bringing some dude into the 3 knockdown rule, and Steve Kim said that they're coming back and they have some special stuff planned. So maybe that special stuff is that they're not going to be on Triller anymore. They're going to move to another platform, maybe. But I don't know. Like it would make sense that if Triller's not going to hold boxing events anymore, why would they have a boxing show?
Why would they fuck with the 3 knockdown? Exactly. Why would they be paying those guys?
But I hope they're still around.
The difference. Delete.
Go ahead, man.
Hello.
Yeah, you're still here, Gonzalo.
Hello, Gonzalo.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. What's going on here?
Okay, yeah, the difference between the difference between the Zone and PBC is that now that they're doing pay-per-view, you got the Zone in different countries, and they're also doing pay-per-views. Like, for example, I'm living in the Philippines here now. It's probably the same for Mexico, but they're prorated. It's not going to cost you $80-something. It's probably going to cost you like $10-15 in a different country. So with the PBC, I couldn't buy that fight over here. How to fucking steal it or whatever. But no, it's one of those things, man. They're gonna. I don't know how much they're gonna sell, but they're gonna sell a lot worldwide.
Yeah, there was a fight here too. Which one was it? It was a PBC fight. I forget. I think it was actually Canelo Plant. I couldn't buy it here because I don't pay for cable anymore. Everything I watch. Full disclosure, I got the Zone and I got the TSN app, and with the TSN app, I get Showtime and ESPN. I pay for those two just for the boxing. I don't watch anything else on that. But since I don't have a cable box, there's no way I can watch a pay-per-view. And I tried looking. I said, listen, let me go on the internet. Not available in Canada. I go, what the fuck? So it's a I don't know how they want you to buy the pay-per-view. I'd even buy perhaps the Wilder Hellenius fight. Right now I'm boycotting the PBC. But if I like the PBC and they were putting on good events, I'd buy the fucking fight. But they don't even offer you the option here in Canada. So the hell do you want? I'm not going to figure it out for you. You figure it out. Until then, I'm watching the fight in a bar or a friend's house.
Yeah, that's also the closed circuit. That'll sell too. Like Bucho said over there, $68 in Canada, where y'all are from. United States, $85. In Mexico, it's probably a different rate. Here in the Philippines, it's going to be less money, but also, so, I mean, yeah, good for them. Nobody likes to pay extra if you got the Zone. It is what it is. I'm surprised Andy Ruiz did 40 fucking thousand.
Well, Mexicans aren't
stupid. That's amazing.
Man.
On the low side, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, Mexicans aren't stupid. They're not gonna buy a fight a short fat guy against an old guy. So but hey, Wilder Ruiz, I would expect it to do decent numbers, but and Wilder Hellenius, they're not gonna give you the real numbers. That one they're gonna fluff him up. I'm calling it already, man. Calling it already.
They say Andy Ruiz one-hit wonder. A lot of people are disappointed, but really, I mean, hope Andy Ruiz does better. with the PBC, his career state, he's like inactive, not good for him. But also, when he got in line to fight Joshua, he was a fill-in. He wasn't even rated in one of the WBC or anything. He wasn't fucking rated. He was a fill-in. So he was never that guy really to begin with. He was kind of a one-hit wonder. He got lucky. He beat that dude. Now they're expecting great things out of him. But remember, he got that because the fat dude, he fell off, the baby Miller.
Yeah. And by the way, let's not forget, Luis, like you said, he wasn't rated. Top Rank let him go because they saw the writing on the wall with this guy. Completely inconsistent with his performances. And even then, Ruiz, with that Joshua win and now the Ortiz win, has a better resume than Wilder. That's insane for these people that think that Wilder is this big pound for pound fighter, one of the best heavyweights of this generation. The fuck out of here.
Well, that's why I said we need to have a show on that, dude. There's just a shit's been coming out of his mouth saying that Joshua bought everything, or everything was bought for him, that he's a fighter who was made by everything from the Olympic gold to just crazy shit. It's like, dude, have you looked at your resume, bro?
Listen,
you're on
Tyson
the top
Fury,
10 list in WBC. You haven't fought anybody on it.
Tyson Fury buck broke him. There's no other explanation. He buck broke twice.
Man, I don't fucking. I'll never forgive him. You see that when he was on. I mean, these mealy mouth, wimp ass fucking excuses we have for media let him get away with it. But then again, he only talks to compliant media guys who will set up these softball questions for him, and then he says these absurd things like, "Why would you say?" And then did you hear him? He said, "I'd grab people and tell them, why wouldn't I go to the police or file a police report? Because I have an opportunity to knock him out, hurt him, and get paid for it." But you didn't. The dude beat the fucking dog snot out of you twice.
And by the way, if you think this guy, like Wilder, if he thinks Fury did cheat, then he's essentially saying, I'm not going to prosecute him to the full extent of the law so that he doesn't do it again. I'm going to go in there, get my ass beaten, which is essentially what he did. He ended up getting his ass kicked even worse than the second fight. And now Fury's still able to do whatever he wants if he really did cheat. Why not put all the proof out there, take the guy to court so that he never boxes again? This guy, listen, like Jimmy, you said Jimmy, the other point you made, which is true, that's what happens when your hanger-ons are Tay Jones and a bunch of other fucking black Israelites and Nation of Islam guys. That's all they're going to feed you. Yeah, man, yeah, champ, you're the king. You're still the champ. He didn't beat you. He's not living in reality.
No, he's not. He's not. Let's pretend for a second you actually had, like he says, he's still saying he has proof, but he didn't want to bring it to the police. Yeah, of course I didn't go to the cops. No, nobody said you had to go to the cops, fuckball. But at least say the evidence you have. Okay, get your fucking pay back in the ring like you said you were gonna, which you didn't. You got fucking throttled, all right? Throttled. And, but still put out your evidence. This is what he did. Now get an opportunity to try to knock him out, get your fucking payback that way. But you can't put out the evidence. It's always, don't get me started. When he starts going down, he'll just say some fucking segue into nothing. Because there is no evidence. The evidence is this, dude. You picked him because you thought he was a 300-pound cokehead coming off the couch who, by your own admission, had fucking pillow fists. He said before the first fight. He kept calling him pillow fists. He even said, I think, after the first fight, because the way, Fury fought. And then he went out too and got fucking knocked the fuck out, beat up. Did you ever look at the stats for those last two fights, or the fights, all three fights combined? Do you know out of the 30 rounds, he landed less than 10 punches? 10 punches in 25 of the 30 rounds. Like just crazy stats. He got. It was a one-way beatdown trilogy I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and this is the
man.
shit this delusional fuck says.
And I still
He's still looking for the fourth fight. He's not convinced yet. He still thinks he got robbed.
Yeah,
if you want the fourth fight.
Yeah, I know you're kidding, but you're not kidding, man. He really is looking for the fourth fight. He still wants it. He probably... man, it's insane. And what happened with the whole Tay Jones thing, too? Remember when he told Sugar Hill, hey, that night, it's going down. What happened? Nothing went... The only thing that went down was this guy got his ass beaten. Got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna go down. Real nice job there. We know.
And it looks like he hasn't died in a fiery car accident yet either. Remember the other dude said that. Like that's. I mean, just think about that. Wishing a dude dies. I hope he dies in a car accident. Really, dude? That's where you're at. That's where you're mentally at. You're that emotionally invested in another man's world. Wow, so you're basically telling everybody if you were his cellmate, you'd be braiding his hair and folding his underwear.
Oh.
Come on, let's be honest, man. You'd be walking around the yard holding onto his fucking belt loop by your fucking pinky.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me, man. Remember two times. Those guys were fucking out of their minds. And by the way, shout out to Rex for his contribution with the super chat. He says, because BDA, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, yeah, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I've never seen any other group cope so much the way they did after their fighters lost. It's absolutely insane. The amount of excuses that they came out with.
We just never get a lot of callbacks. Remember Great Expectations? That dude, Greets with Fire. Remember him? All the shit he talked, all the shit he said, and fucking never called back.
Here's what I don't get.
Bunch of those dudes. Never heard from him again.
Here's what I don't get. If Wilder really does believe that he was cheated and he's got the proof, why did he ever submit the autopsy to the authorities? Remember that? His brother said that they'd done the autopsy.
Well, did you see his response to that? He said if anybody was to ask that, he'd pull him so close you'd feel his breath on your face, and he would tell you, why the fuck would I do that? You don't understand because you're not a fighter. Why would I do that when I can get paid millions of dollars and knock him out? Yeah, but you didn't knock him out. He beat you up again.
Hey, by the way, before we go, I got to remind you guys, even though I know you said that you don't want to watch it, whatever, Joyce, Joseph Parker, watch the sit-down that they had, that face-off, whatever. It's fucking hilarious. Both guys really they're friendly with each other, but there's always some tension because of the fight. And the trash talking is hilarious. Like, Joseph Parker goes, I can't wait, to fucking bash your face in. And Joe Jones goes, well, go ahead and do it. And then Joseph Parker goes, no, I will do it. It's like, he just said do it. Like, the trash talking is hilarious, man. Just watch that. I'm looking forward to the fight. I know you guys aren't, but I think it's going to be a fun, sloppy fight. There's nothing better. Unfortunately, the other news is Lee Wood and Mauricio Lara has been called off. Lee Wood injured himself. So unfortunately, we're not getting that. I was looking forward to that one, man. Fuck, that was
smartest move. That fucking Listen, do you think I don't believe that for a second? Just to be honest with you, I don't believe Wood hurt himself. I think he came to his senses. To be honest with you,
man.
Just to be honest with you, I don't think that was a smart move. Him going right into that Lara fight. Why not rematch fucking the Irish kid who can't punch that hard for big money in the UK?
Exactly.
Like Lara, low risk, big fucking risk, very low reward. I didn't understand that philosophy.
Hey, listen, today I tried to put some clips up and it wasn't working. Everything was fucking up. But would you guys be willing to do a live film analysis for Ramirez versus Bivol?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sure.
Because Ramirez, right off the bat, I'm telling you, Bivol's going to win that one. Ramirez is just not on his level. But there's always a but, obviously. And it's a big if. Ramirez has a lot going for him. Size. He does punch. He's a mean body puncher with both hands. I'm seeing something. And I'm not picking him to win, obviously. But what I'm saying is, if we analyze some of the stuff that he could do and that he could actually maximize, if he can maximize it, could be a long night for Bivol. But the other thing I wanted to bring up, the other thing I wanted to bring up is the Lomachenko fight card on October the 29th is being set up, or I think it has been set up. It is for October the 29th. And it looks like a good card. They just announced Robesi Ramirez, Cuban Olympian, taking on Jesse Magdaleno, who for a while there was being considered a rising star. Then he lost to Isaac Dogbo, but I believe he's notched a couple of victories in his comeback. So that's a good fight right there, man. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, that should be a good little scrap.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. That's some of the stuff, and then of course we got still Wilder coming up. Okay, so since the Dogbo fight, Magdalenos fought 4 times. And he's got, so he seems to be, I'd have to watch the fights to see how good he looks or how sharp. Man, that's going to be, he's the southpaw, I believe. Yeah, so it's going to be 2 southpaws.
Did you see that? Was it Rick Glacier who said that he heard that after the Kambosos fight, Haney's going to 140?
That's what he said. But I don't know if I mean...
He's saying it's 100%. That's what he was told. no questions asked. Like, that would be fucked up if Haney doesn't fight fucking Lomachenko, boy.
That would be Could you imagine? What are the fans going to say then? Because they're the ones that have been saying for years that, Loma's the one. Do you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, good for him, giving him a taste of his own medicine, or something stupid like that. Which,
of course.
But hold on. But if they say that, then they should be saying that right now. They should be saying that right now. You know what? If Haney beats Kambosos, he should just fuck off. But no, they're not saying that. They're still saying that it's Loma.
Cece the Great doesn't think she should fight him. Fuck him. That's what she said.
I'm pretty sure she's still fantasizing about that fight while she's bum rushing a store. You know, when she's thinking she's gotta be on her mind. Anyway, listen, fellas, we do have to go. But shout out to all you guys. Thank you for joining us, man. I'm talking about Bucho, Jimmy, Gonzalo. Thank you for joining the panel. Always appreciate it. Everybody that called in, everybody that donated with the super chat, and of course, everybody in the chat. Sergeant USMC, Ralph Unreal, the Chitlin Distributor, Sam Rando, Don Ramon Champ, AJR, Kevin Fuentes, I Am Your Leader, shout out to I Am Your Leader, Rex, Electorazo, Steven Schneider dropping by as well. It's been a while since I've seen him. Tenshin Ta, Eparokua, Super Sardonic, AJR, Virtuoso, who called in as well, the Straight G Turo, Earl Stevens, Rene Box. You guys know who you are. Thank you. If I forgot anybody, it's because we gotta go, but you guys know who you are. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. Hit the like on the way out. Make sure to do that. We'll catch you in the next one, fellas. Hey, we'll try to do an impromptu Second Renaissance. Go check it. Oh, hey, check out the last episode of Second Renaissance on Odyssey. Because we were watching that MSNBC guy, McDonald, whatever his name is, the one who had the freak out with the hammer. We were watching that clipping, laughing our asses off, and MSNBC claimed the clip. And it's not even I don't even think that was broadcast. That was just the private footage that somebody leaked. So I don't know why MSNBC, technically it's their property, so I don't know if they manually caught it or if it's just the algorithm caught it automatically. But let me give you the link here to our Odyssey link to the Second Renaissance. By the way, I've been hearing, somebody can let me know in the Discord, Rumble has been getting more attention now than Odyssey because of the fact that they're attracting more political pundits and all that, especially with the Andrew Tate thing. Andrew Tate is over there, so a lot of people are saying Rumble's stock went up, apparently, according to him. So, guys, let me know if it's better to post on Odyssey or on Rumble. I like Odyssey. I like that it's going fast. There's no lag. I think they're about to start an app. So, you guys let me know. But anyway, listen. It's taking a little bit of time here for me to post the link. It's loading up and loading up and loading up. But I'll post it as soon as I'm done here. But shout out to everybody, man. Everybody that joined. Everybody that gave the predictions. I do have the predictions written down. So I'm going to be watching you fellas. I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see who got it correctly and who got it wrong. Electorazo says, BDA, have you checked out Clyde Lewis? No, I don't know who Clyde Lewis is, Electorazo. I think you mentioned that guy in the last Second Renaissance, but I haven't checked out. Some rando says, Odyssey has an app already. It's a horrible app. Yeah, that's what I read, man. That's what I heard, actually. I heard that that's why I was telling people, look, if you're going to watch us live on your phone, don't download the app. Just watch it live on the browser. It can't be worse than the app, from what I hear. Finally, I got the link here. Hold on a second. Let me post it here. Here's a link to our Odyssey Second Renaissance page. We still don't have a Odyssey for BDA. We're gonna do that at some point. But anyway, enough prevaricating, guys. Thank you for joining us. There's the link. Go check it out. The episode was fantastic, and we'll try to be back this week with another Second Renaissance as well, and an Open Lines Friday. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.